Hello and welcome everyone. This is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and we welcome you to the second part of today's stream. No, and well, of course it was the 23rd February today, and therefore we had a certain stream from the franchise that was letting us know some news and things. It was actually quite a bit heavily hyped up, especially for, well, the Retold news and stuff, so we're not gonna be looking only at that, but I guess might just as well go through the whole part. It was about like half an hour before they started playing, if I'm not mistaken. No, and let's therefore have a look on the kind of like reveals and the news, and maybe have some kind of commentary if there's something relevant maybe to say about that. So I guess you can probably right now start with that. Gonna have to probably right about now bring the volume down a bit.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the
yeah,
Age
because
of
it was
Empires
a weirdly
New
actually
Year,
low
New Age
volume
stream.
in here, so maybe
My
not
name is
even too
Wellen,
much.
a fellow Age of Empires gamer, enjoyer, as well as streamer, and I will be your host for today. I have chat right in front of me, so I can see everything you guys are saying in real time. And I just kind of want to see, you know, Age of Empires is such a global game. Where's everyone from today? Yep, no
It's
way,
kind of like
bro's
interesting that they're
hosting.
actually
Let's
choosing
go.
this guy,
My chat,
because
Age of Empires chat
for some
there as
reason
well.
he is
I'm seeing
somehow
Brazil,
supposed to
Mexico,
be
Persia,
like connected to the
Canada,
franchise
UK,
or whatever, but
Nova
I
Scotia,
don't know if I've ever seen him
Belgium.
on any kind of Age
Oh, man,
streams.
this is so
Be it
exciting,
2,
guys. This
3,
is a
4,
game series I've loved
Mythology,
since a kid.
1.
So
I don't know.
it's just,
I really don't know.
it's
Maybe he's
very
streaming
surreal
something.
that I'm here and I get to
It's a
tell
kind of
you
different
guys
time
very
zones that I'm not
juicy
entirely
tidbits,
noticing.
some of which
And I'm
have
not
been
entirely
kept from
certain
me.
what kind of this guy's connection is. That doesn't mean
Peru,
that like there is a
India,
bad host
China,
or anything. It's just like
Venezuela. All
so I'm not
right.
entirely
Well,
certain why he's getting the
we have a
job
lot
as
to
opposed
get
to
through today.
like maybe somebody from
We're
the
going to be
community,
getting an
right?
exclusive look at what we can expect from Age of Empires in 2024 and beyond. And I haven't seen all of it, like I said, so it's some of this is going to be a surprise to me as well. I'll be reacting with it with you folks live.
Yep.
And also
kind of
later in the
AoE
show, I'll be
in
playing
2023,
never
just
before
gonna
seen
be the first
DLC
part
coming
here.
to Age of Empires 2.
You can see to the
that you
bottom
do
we have
not wanna
certain
miss.
timeline.
What do you guys think we're going to get today? What's like? What do you guys? What's?
Yeah, saying he
Yeah,
was
I've
playing
seen
on Voodoo,
some-
and do you know like
I've seen
Age of
some
Mythology or Age
speculation.
of Empires 2 or what?
I feel like the prostagma.
Because the
is,
name absolutely
is,
says
I'm
nothing
seeing
to
that,
me.
You know.
And I'm basically in the community up and down
interesting.
for
Interesting.
well,
New
more
Cids,
than a decade,
AO3,
so
AoE3 DLC.
I'm really kind of confused why
campaigns.
he's
Alright,
kind of
well,
involved.
Guys, before we get into
Again,
all of that,
nothing
I've
against him
got
like personally,
some stuff
being a
to
host
show
and
you,
whatnot, why not?
reflecting on the past
I'm
year.
just a
It was
bit kind of
huge year
curious about
for
it,
Age of
considering how they're
Empires, and
commonly
in
talking about how they are
2023,
all about
and
the
so we're gonna get
communities
into
and
that
whatever.
right
Just
now.
seems kind of strange slightly to me. Okay, so yeah, they first went for review of 2023, so probably gonna remember most of the things. So it's gonna be kind of like patting themselves on the back as usual.
We say we're gonna bring this to Xbox.
All right, sorry, sorry for not understanding the sarcasm in there. Yeah, all kinds of cool little things going on around here.
Seeing the faces behind the nicknames, but it's all about, right?
Knack, of course, returned into Age of Empires 2 after quite a bit of a controversy with AoE 4. Yeah, can I make fun of that? Showing how actually you are having worse version of the game than is user patch on Wooble still. It's kind of like fun on one side, on the other it's actually not supposed to be really fun too much, to be honest, these things. Like teleporting units in Age of Empires 2 lately, for example, and stuff. For example, yesterday on the stream we were having that, quite an egregious case.
There are those among us who still believe in Rome.
Oh, thanks, Digital Lockup. Gonna be looking at that article then as well, after. No, well, Romans, bit kind of like weird addition to the lineup of AoE2 civilizations. And in general, of course, that was the pretty big problem with not even including campaigns for kind of move into the AoE2 engine. Which is, of course, what everybody expected, because again, 90% of players are single players and campaigners, so they want that. So trying to release it again, Age of Empires 1 basically, without the campaigns, that is very questionable, to say the least. I have very different words for that you could use. Like scammy, for example, will be feeling very well in place in there, in my opinion. But nonetheless, they at least delivered after it. Not all of them, but at least some. It's very strange if there are gonna be some like more leak news on some kind of PC Gamer article for Retold, and why not basically mention it during the stream. The stream was in general kind of feeling very weird and underwhelming, of course, for how it was hyped up. But like you're gonna be seeing all the info, of course, coming up. And again, sorry that I can't provide some reasonable quality, but I'm expecting you have already seen it yourself, and you can watch the videos in high quality on YouTube and everywhere. So not it's a problem. So, best-selling DLC for AoE 4, or in general in the franchise, and fairly well received. Good, not viewership, but rather playership, and really good results for them. So things are looking somewhat okay for AoE 4 currently, from what I know, and how I follow the community as well. No, and that was therefore kind of the highlights for the last year.
Guys, 50 million players, a tremendous milestone. I'm back with you guys.
Frankly, that's not entirely too high if you think about it.
For,
if you're gonna be thinking about like the general sales, and this is gonna be probably including the whole 25 years in my opinion, so
like,
maybe nice, but
Age of Empires brings people together, you know. I
that
have
incredibly
friends
impressive
who
for
I've
today's
known
day
my
and
whole
age.
life, who I played with when I was a kid, and I still play with them now.
That's still nice,
I have
I guess.
friends who I've met in other games who I play with in Age of Empires. It's just, it's so cool.
Never knew
AoE 2
about this
DLC
game, but
was
it
your
looks
favorite
sick.
part?
That's a weird highlight.
Oh yeah. The Flemish.
I mean, like, who else is gonna be watching
pressing
these
the
streams
button,
than people who already know
AoE on
Age of Empires?
Xbox too.
So
like,
that's kind of strange to be
bro, porting it to console,
having that as a
becoming
highlight, but nonetheless.
playing Age on a console on a controller, it's crazy to me.
Yes, yes. Going free to play for Age of Empires 3, there is a quite nice kind of testing.
The button.
Definitely not bad.
Oh, and of course, Georgians and
There's
Armenians
like a
in AoE
good,
2,
in my
the
opinion,
wicked
direction they
composite
could be
bowman.
taken, especially if they're kind of heading into Paradox Entertainment. Amount of DLCs
lots happened, and to
microtransactions
celebrate
therefore as well. They are
the
already
50
doing
million
with skins.
player milestone, you can get 50% off, up to 50% off Age of Empires games and expansions right
if you
now.
want to be buying
So if you want to
something, of
save that money,
but I mean, like, they're
that is a
on
tremendous
sales
thing
actually
going
very
on right
commanding.
now.
So even if you missed today, or
I'm laughing
kind
so
of like,
hard.
I don't
You
know
have
what
no
else,
money. Okay,
or
well,
how long
you
it's going
need
to
some
be,
because
you're
you
not
need to
gonna
pay
be
the
missing for too
50%,
long,
up
frankly.
to 50% off. But big stuff.
Yeah, well,
I've got
practically on
chat
every
right here in
occasion
front of me, so I see
lately.
everything you guys say. So you have to be on your best behavior. You have 3. You have 3 money. You are hot. Hey, Electro. Thank you. You're a real one. Real recognized real. You're looking good too. What is
Otherwise,
Bro's
he's supposed to
hairline?
be
All
fairly
right,
popular
chill.
streamer, if I'm
All
not
right,
mistaken.
we're 1-1.
I've read
We're
somewhere
1-1, chat.
that it's
You
not
go to
like
the
any kind of
Yes, I
nobody.
went to the
I'm just
hotel-
like in
hotel
general
gym yesterday.
questioning
We're
what the
getting off
connection is
track,
to us.
folks. We have so much to share with you guys here. We just saw what happened in 2023, but, and I want to say this, I have not seen the next video that we're about to see. They refused to show it to me. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to see it, okay? There is some secret, spicy stuff going on right now. So we're about to get into that, and we're going to see what we can expect from Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition coming up, and let's hit that right now.
Yeah, there already was quite a bit evident there's
Hello,
gonna be a
everyone.
new DLC
I'm
coming up.
Ramzi Abdul-Rahim. Here at World's Edge,
And they were
we've
like
always believed
2
that
months
the community
without any kind
is
of
the
patch.
driving
The last was
force
actually in
behind
like
the
15
success of the
December
Age
or whatnot.
franchise.
It's
Over
like
the years,
yesterday
we've
they released the
partnered
small
with
one with
community
some
creators,
pathfinding
from
fixes, so
streamers to scenario designers, to
judgment is
modders,
out on that,
and
I
helped
guess,
bring
if
their
it's gonna be
ideas
true
and
help.
passion into the games. We've also heard from many of you who have asked for more content, especially campaign content. We listened, and I'm thrilled to announce Victors and Vanquished, the first ever
just streamed
campaign-focused
Victor
expansion pack
in
for
the
Age
Age of Mythology
Empires
match.
2 Definitive Edition. It features 19, yes, 19 scenarios. That's more scenarios than any previous expansion for the Definitive Edition. But more than that, I'd like to say Victors and Vanquished is a labor of love. You see, before joining World's Edge, I was a community scenario designer myself. I built dozens of custom scenarios, beloved by our most passionate campaign players.
By the way, who is this?
Now,
Who was
with
him?
Victors and Vanquished, I'd like to share some of the very best and most popular first
Does he have
ever
a nickname in there?
campaign-focused expansion campaign. We've also community is the
Ramsey
driving
Abdul
force
Rahim?
behind
No, he
the
doesn't have a
success
nickname,
of
so
the
I'm not
Age
sure who he is
franchise.
actually.
Over the years, 19 love. You see, before joining World's Edge, I was a community scenario designer myself. I built dozens of custom scenarios,
Legit
loved
not
by
sure who he
most
is.
passionate campaign players. Now, in Victors and Vanquished, I'd like to share some of the very best and most popular of these works with the entire Age community. If you've played my scenarios before, you didn't play these scenarios. Each has been carefully updated and polished to reach the high bar you expect from the Age of Empires
Yeah, apparently it was all
franchise.
about like the
We're talking
scenarios
fully
rather than
professional voice acting.
like
We
map
struck
scripters. I'm a bit more
with our
familiar with map
souls.
scripters for tournaments and
Original
stuff.
music, rebalancing,
So yeah,
hundreds of bug
that's
fixes,
not meaning
and
too much
quality
that I
of
don't
life
know him,
improvements.
but
We're
maybe the
also
single player
talking
community is gonna be
5
familiar with
all-new,
him
never
a
before
lot more.
seen scenarios. So let's take a look.
It is your destiny to overcome the clans, unite Japan.
So it's gonna, this is something that was
In
expected for a
Victors
long
and
time to
Vanquished,
come.
we want to go
That you're gonna be
beyond
having
familiar
campaign
and give you
DLCs. That
something
was
new,
something that was
something that
very much also
resparks the
preferred
sense of
as opposed to
wonder
adding new
and
civilizations
possibility
all the
when you
time.
first played
Because
the
obviously it just
campaigns
creates all
many
kinds of
years
further
ago.
problems for the game.
And
But
for new
campaigns,
players, those who haven't dabbled in
that's
campaigns
like fine.
before,
I don't have any kind of
these
issue with
scenarios,
that.
they
That's
justify
nice
your
content. If
expectations
people want to
from
play
what
that,
Age of
sure.
Empires scenario
It's making
is.
quite a
In
quite good
Ragnarok,
progress
you
towards the
unleash your inner
main
Viking.
player
The
base.
warriors
Again,
beat their
vast
swords
majority of
against
people are
oaken
single players and
shields.
campaign players, so
Send your
this is making
warbands
very good
across
sense for the
sea
sales.
on a massive map of northern
So
Europe.
like nobody can be really
All
saying
big
anything
empires
about this in my
start from
opinion.
humble origins,
Especially if
and
it's not
yours will
gonna
be
be
no different.
too heavily priced,
Begin with raids to pay
which is something you're gonna be getting to in a
You've
moment.
got thraldoms in Norway,
Once this is
Denmark,
gonna be
and
somewhat
Sweden to grow your power. As you
done.
rise to become king, more possibilities are at your fingertips. Use your achievements to unlock technologies, find powerful heroes, raid wherever you want, and even worship the gods for bonuses.
Either way, let me know if maybe the
On
sound
the
and
brink,
music
you are surrounded by
is like
enemies.
not
Fearsome
entirely in
Vikings,
some kind of good ratio to
horse-riding
my voice.
Magyars, and stalwart Franks.
Guess there was some kind of
Your
issue with
power is
that.
not
It was maybe
absolute.
too quiet
You
or
have 3
some
vassals.
such.
These can be your very best friends, helping you achieve your ambition to become Holy Roman Emperor, or they'll be a rebellious thorn in your side. Balance your power against theirs and use well-timed gifts to keep them in line. Finally, in Oda Nobunaga, choose to play as one of 6 different unique factions. Will you lead the Takeda?
You can, for example,
and
Oda
crush your enemies
Nomuraga.
with the best cavalry in
You
Japan?
can watch plenty of videos
Or
on
will you
that on
command the
Kings and
Ottoman
Generals
and find your
YouTube.
advantage
If
in
you
your
want to be
rival's
learning the
strange
real
people
world
and new
history
weapons?
beyond that as well.
Or if subterfuge and assassination is more your style, try the Mori clan and leverage your criminal network to recruit unsavory characters.
What are those? Yo.
In Victors and Vanquished, you tell your own story like never before in Age of Empires. Victors and Vanquished is now available for pre-order, and we have a lot more coming for Age of Empires 2. This is only the beginning. Will you be the victor?
Yes, 5 years of patching and still nowhere near to really having a balanced game. And having multiple
and
tens of pages
Vanquished, folks.
of
Not
patch
Vanquished and
notes.
Victors. That
No,
was
well.
cool. Bro, those ninjas.
I don't know, after such
they
a long
one-shot.
time and so many years,
They
I'm not entirely
one-shot,
certain if it
man, I
speaks
saw
to
that.
any kind of like high
can't-
quality of the production, but that's, I guess, anybody's idea. So nonetheless, this is right about now on the Steam, so if you want to be already going in, well, you can add it to wishlist, which is very strange at this point, that you don't have, you have planned release in legit 3 weeks, and you don't have even actually price tag here yet. Did they maybe update it in that time? Oh, well, finally. Finally they did. Okay, so that's gonna be right about now 11 euro or 13. That's actually kind of pushing it, right? 13 euro for 4 campaigns. I mean, like, it's not gonna expensive too much, right? You're gonna be getting plenty of hours of that, so the ratio is gonna be quite a bit fine. Just kind of like in the comparison to the others. Let's gonna see definitive edition. Let's block that. It's right about now the cost of all the other things. You can say right about now if you have the civilizations extra, then mountain rails you can say it now 15 euro, for example. The older ones it's gonna be right now already 10 if you're not gonna be counting, of course, the discount. So that's a bit kind of interesting price tag in there. Feels maybe a bit higher than you would be thinking. I mean, like if you have, for example, those one there, even though that's probably gonna be, is it moved or not? I'm trying to remember if they were actually more expensive before or not. Thinking that probably not actually. Because the base game is 20, so they wouldn't have been able to go anywhere further. Maybe you could be just kind of thinking that the Mountain Royals is actually kind of out there with the 15. Wow, actually Mountain Royals are having mixed reviews, really. Didn't even notice that. 65% gave it positive. Or actually right now people complaining about here. Nice add-on, but totally overpriced. Okay, so yeah, they probably did increase the price therefore for that. Only 2 civilizations, used to be like 4, right, in the previous ones usually. So that is kind of like very strange, yeah, overpriced. But they added campaigns, if I'm not mistaken, with them as well. With the Mountain Royals a bit more, didn't they? 3 really new campaigns, yeah, I think they went a bit more into those. So maybe they just kind of like value their campaigns a bit more than civilizations themselves. No, nonetheless, the price tag is, I don't think it's terrible, just maybe like the comparison with the others is somewhat interesting, but I don't think it's too bad. And you're gonna be getting plenty hours for that, in my opinion. So, something that we expected, that you're gonna be getting the campaign DLCs. No, I guess maybe it can be therefore continuing with the further news.
Let's slip that in there and hope we just glaze over that. That's cool. That is very cool. And who presented that? Ramsey Abdul Rahim is going to be playing one of the campaigns with me later. Well, I'm going to be playing it, and he's going to be offering me sage wisdom. And he also created these scenarios, so he can probably be like, yeah, you want to like, we'll get into all that, folks.
No, well, the reason is simple. 11 years old computer.
Like,
that's the reason.
You know, it's all happening. I haven't seen that, okay? Like, I saw
I don't have thousands of dollars to be buying a new computer
those look
for
really
streaming.
Good,
so that's why the streams are that way. It's not
man,
really
those little character
difficult.
models for the heroes, the way they shine is so
anything
cool.
hidden.
Are you going to play on this stream? Yes, we are. Later today, we're going to be playing.
No, of course not. It's not gonna change really. So I'm kind of hoping it's gonna be still playable. Hopefully it should be. Based on the graphics they have shown, I'm thinking that I should be still somewhat okay. I can even somewhat play AoE 4, so I guess I should be probably fine still, even though it's getting a bit funny already. For example, Stormgate, I wasn't able to play rated games. I could play just like some custom games and stuff. But it's already
we play as,
on
which is
the
pretty cool. So you can have like different
threshold.
perspectives on the same campaigns. All right, I'm watching. Okay, that's a quad kill, folks.
Ray tracing is always something that you can turn off.
kill,
I mean, like,
observe.
they're not gonna be really
That's
wanting to
professional. I don't
limit
know
their
what they
player
were
base in
looking
such
at,
a way.
the
It's gonna be
samurai.
all something you're gonna be able to turn
Man, this
off,
is
for sure.
cool.
So if they're gonna be having some kind of expectations, and
I
well,
love how
I wouldn't
they
be able
have
to
all
play it,
these,
then
like,
well,
custom
tough
buildings
luck.
in the
But
campaign.
I don't think that's gonna be really
I
the
always was
case.
wondering if they could have those in like multiplayer or something, you know?
So yeah, they might be adding some bells and whistles in there, but it's
the
gonna be
ability to
definitely
have that.
toggleable.
And then
Because they
Gaia.
just can't be
There's
removing
few things
90% of
more
all the community. I mean,
satisfying
like,
than walking up to something and like
who is playing the
claiming it,
games,
you know
right?
what I'm saying? Did they give?
and on laptops and stuff,
I
so
know
they
you
can't
can
be making any
pre-order
kind of
this now
brutal
for
expectations.
15% off. I don't know if there's. Yeah, here. This is the information that's been provided. Chat. I actually have 2 chat. I could call you guys chats.
I mean,
Very
like, Extended
cool.
Edition is, in my opinion, not entirely that much of a good comparison, because that was done really poorly and really badly in all kinds of ways. So if they're not gonna be working off that, hopefully they are working off the original.
But
then
it's not just
there's not
AoE
much of an
2 stuff
expectation, in my opinion, that it's gonna be way
We
worse than
have,
EE, in my opinion.
Next, a little bit of stuff for our Age 3 and Age 4 players. Do we have any Age 3 and Age 4? I'm not cheating on you well in chat. We've got 2 chats up. Chill. There was another chat.
Okay, so
we
give us the
have
3 and
some
4,
stuff
which is
for you
very
guys
odd
as
coupling
well.
in
I'm
the
gonna be
first
right
place.
here with you guys
Age 3 and 4, just basically
enjoying
signaling that it's gonna be
AoE3.
very
Let's go,
small
AoE4,
amount of
let's go.
news.
We got both. We got both gamers.
So it's kind of very weird that they
AoE3
actually had
community
even this
represent-
team in
Hey,
the
you
first
gotta
place, to be honest.
represent,
Kind of feels
you know?
like
You gotta yap.
first they
This
oversold
chat's
it,
zooming,
and
I love
second
it.
that
All
they
right.
just like
Well, guys,
didn't entirely have that many things to
I
say
will
in the
be
first place.
reacting
So
here
I'm not entirely
with
certain
you,
why they even
all you
did it,
lovely
frankly.
folks, as we
The
get
whole
into this
stream kind of felt
AoE3 and
a bit
AoE4 update,
ill-prepared
which we will get
and
into
kind of
right
maybe
now.
low-cost, or how could I say that? So you could be having maybe a bit more of a community feel here, but
Director of Player Engagement for World's Edge.
I don't know, just kind of doesn't
And
fit
I'm
for me
Anu Suyun,
for
Director
what they
of
were
Production for
hyping it
World's
up to
Edge.
be honest.
As you just saw,
2023 was the best year yet for Age of Empires. We have delivered new content for Age 4, with the Age franchise best-selling expansion pack of all time, The Sultan's Ascent. And we have given players a new way to try out Age 3, with rotating rosters of 16 civilizations found in the base game.
Yeah, this is kind of nice having the free-to-play version.
Age of Empires 2 update, we at World's Edge and our development partners are hard at work creating, planning, and imagining the future of Age of Empires. More importantly, we're listening to you, our community, and your feedback is critical to what we do.
Yes, and that's why you are completely ignoring expert players and everybody else as well, if it doesn't fit you in all the games in the franchise.
DLC, they include 2 civilizations that have been highly requested by the community.
But well, you can always fool people who are not in the community, right? Just gonna randomly watch in, so why not actually try that?
I think maybe an image
but
or 2
unfortunately all of them do it. So this is kind of interesting. The bottom is obviously Denmark. What was the like speculation is the top one?
This new think maybe an image or
They were saying, I think in Poland. Yeah, that's actually it should be Poland probably. I think it was mentioned. There is that Polish eagle or what is it in there? Let's have a see maybe. Images, maybe for that. Yeah, that's definitely it. As this. Okay, so Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It was a fairly important part of the world until Russians destroyed them practically. So yeah, that's in case you are kind of wondering about like the history between Poland and Russia. It kind of goes in approximately this time frame of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and what happened around it and after. In the kind of like early modern age, or not necessarily early modern age, like 18th, 19th century and stuff, even. Can say about now. It was all kinds of different territories and extents and whatnot, but here at the end, no, nonetheless, you can find plenty of videos on that on YouTube if you're gonna be interested.
2 will speak louder here. This new DLC is coming to Age of Empires 3 in late 2024. And while you wait, remember
late 2024 for 3DE. I mean, like the last expansion was already way into last year, so they had a long time to make it, so I guess they're a bit spread out.
For Age of Empires 4, we're excited to announce our next major update is coming early this spring, which will also coincide with the start of Season 7. This new season will include many new features that you've been requesting, such as Team Ranked on Xbox, adding a free-for-all mode to Quick Match.
From what I have heard from players, then free-for-all mode is gonna be quite a bit of interest, and frankly that's not a terrible idea. I mean, like, just gonna like quick queue in. It's an interesting idea. Of all the ideas on ladders and having like the Empire Wars and everything, having actually a quick search for free-for-all is not a stupid one, frankly. It's something that's worth testing. As especially AoE 4, free-for-alls are actually somewhat popular. There's the Octagon by Drongo actually going on as a popular tournament as well, so that's a bit of a thing there. So it makes sense, and maybe it's kind of making its way into other parts as well. But nonetheless, the 3 and 4 news were fairly disappointing, or rather there wasn't practically anything too much.
I played Sultan's Ascent,
to say the least, so
in AoE 4
a week
probably
didn't really get as much as they wanted, but nonetheless the DLC for 3 is a good promise.
It was a little bit sad.
If you are thinking that new civilizations need to be added, but it's a bit different than in AoE 2 and then in 3. You can still probably accommodate a few, but it's getting really high there as well.
That's pretty wild.
So of course that's complicating balance that isn't that much ideal.
Definitive Edition for free now, yes, free. Whoever it was that said they have no money, you can play this, you know. And of course the Sultan's Ascend, new expansion on AoE 4. More bicep, please, yo, chill! Chat, you have got to chill, relax. What do you mean? AoE 4 just got all the Sultan's Ascend stuff. I played the campaign.
It's pretty old already, though.
Another one where you had to capture command posts. That's probably not the right term from the Teutons, but Yeah. I think the Teutonic Knights should also have a special aesthetic. Villager biceps. Honestly, guys, villagers create a unfair body image because they are jacked. They are jacked. All right, well, this is enough about that. We have something a little bit different for you guys now. We have a very special first-time gameplay trailer and deep dive into Age of Empires Mobile.
Yep, something
So
that
let's
is
get
gonna
into
be a
that
big
right
moneymaker for
now.
them. And you're gonna be very much seen first and very much in a moment what kind of target they are aiming for the most. Yep, being in Chinese, that is the huge market. Actually, supposedly there are a lot of players in China for Age of Empires 4. Like really a lot, supposedly. And of course, mobile games in China are absolutely huge. Like really, way more than even than desktop PCs and stuff. So making sense they're gonna be targeting that first and foremost, and of course, most of the companies are gonna be also Chinese. It's practically supposed to be some kind of like a clone of a different, similar game, just kind of like reskinned and redone a bit into Age of Empires. Thank you, Katiranks, for your 25 months. Appreciate it. Die-hard Age of Empires fans.
对 Age of Empires 的热爱，也是许多团队成员投身策略游戏研发的原因之一。我自己在高中的时候，常常玩 Age of Empires 2到废寝忘食，一张地图能重复的玩6、7遍也不觉得腻。
我们团队从16年开始专注研发策略手游，希望利用天美在大地图设计、多人在线、社交功能方面的经验，融入对 Age of Empires 沉浸。
I have really no experience with mobile games, so can't be entirely saying too much about maybe how it looks gameplay-wise from just the pictures that we have.
更多朋友一起体验全新的 Age of Empires。
Age of Empires Mobile is a fresh take on the Age of Empires series. We've preserved the classic Age of Empires elements as much as possible, while introducing new gameplay and controls optimized for mobile devices. We hope to deliver that classic Age
But frankly, the graphics do not look too bad. I'll be almost actually going to say that they look better than Age of Empires 4.
Large-scale epic stage battles, where hundreds of players clash on one screen. It's a dynamic and immersive combat experiences that blends large-scale
Of course, they have to be controlling blobs. I mean, like, can't be having any kind of great controls on mobile logically.
To players who enjoy single-player adventures. You can build and expand your empire independently, delve into diverse single-player dungeons, and freely explore the vast world map to gather resources, embark on PvE encounters, or engage in intense one-on-one PvP battles.
When designing civilizations, we conducted extensive research with Microsoft's team, including field trips and specialized discussions, to stay as true to history as possible. For example, the Roman civilization features stone structure. The Byzantine civilization is rich in mosaic decorations, and the Chinese civilization, with its
Did they say Rome civilization
excels in wooden
before? I mean, are we gonna be seeing the list here? But
influence
seems
our
to be a bit
choice of materials
anachronistic,
and
right?
art
But I
style
guess
when
they maybe
designing
don't
the
gonna bad it
architecture
too
of
much.
different civilizations.
In addition to experiencing familiar civilizations in Age of Empires Mobile, you will also relive classic Age of Empires elements, including rich Citadel resources.
Frankly, this really looks better than AoE4 graphics, which is very strange, but
Also, our games preserve the essence of Age of Empires.
well, it is what it is, I guess.
Aspects such as base building,
That is,
freedom
in
of
general,
movement
it's somewhat
during
similar at least.
combat and strategic unit placement, and a wide variety of strategies.
I'm liking the names. Did you notice that? Quite nice placeholder names in there. They don't even bother to be creating some normal accounts. Usually when you're gonna be doing demos like that, you're gonna be at least taking a bit of care to have some, I don't know, Joan of Arc name or Frederick Barbarossa, but just like making it nice, right? Instead of just like, nah, who cares? They just do DDFKJ, what is it? CLKJSD.
Variety of strategies.
Speaking of strategy, Age of Empires Mobile focuses more on pre-battle strategy compared to Age of Empires. Many well-known historical heroes will be fighting alongside you, carrying a diverse set of unique skills and
Yeah, they have.
room
Oh, that's actually even Alexander.
You can then
with that plumed helmet.
combine these heroes into battle teams, opening even more room for creative strategies.
Actually gonna be mixing there for
Many
like
players
Middle
are curious
Ages
about
and
what kind of
ancient
game
times
Age of
then
Empires Mobile is. It's a war strategy game with rich RTS gameplay, specifically optimized for the mobile
Did
platform.
they say RPG game?
So I've heard many players are curious about what kind of game Age of Empires Mobile is. It's a war strategy game with rich RTS gameplay, specifically optimized for the mobile platform. We've simplified the input scheme to make it more intuitive for the new player.
Age of Empires Mobile is currently under active development. We're planning regional tests to continuously optimize the game, and we can't wait to introduce it to players worldwide.
Age of Empires Mobile is available for pre-registration on the App Store and Google Play right now. Also, check out our official website for pre-registration on the App Store.
So what's then? Joan, then you have that's some kind of Viking, could be Ragnar maybe. Then of course Cleopatra to the right. And to the bottom that's gonna be some kind of Byzantine emperor, I guess. I mean, like you can be taking a guess which of them it is going to be.
And Google Play right now.
Pre-register now, so they're actually not even having the release date for that, really.
More information. Join our official communities for the latest updates on the Age of Empires.
It's a very strange actually right now thing with like the release dates and whatnot, the stream, this one. Not entirely giving that much of a clear date. The 3DE expansion, this one. Yeah, that's the gameplay trailer or some such. No, not gameplay trailer, obviously. Yeah, Romans, Byzantines, Chinese, and what was the last one? French. Sorry for the quality, but nonetheless, again, I'm expecting that you're gonna be wanting to watch that on some highest quality that you can on a computer. Yeah, just here's for maybe some kind of commentary and stuff. Why? What the hell? I mean, like, she's straight white here, and in that menu, she was like Middle Eastern, right? That is so weird. I mean, like, just sort of what I see here doesn't seem like complete trash. No idea how it plays, of course, these types of games. So I'm not entirely somebody who is gonna be an expert on mobile games. But it at least kind of looks kind of representative. As if you remember, for example, the first Age of Empires mobile game that, I mean, like, it was, of course, like 10 years ago, or how much by now. But this is quite a bit of a different realm. But in 10 years, smartphones also went a whole different way. Yeah, look at her, right? That's probably gonna be somebody else then, but she's having fairly similar headwear in there. So I'll be expecting that's supposed to be some kind of Egyptian-esque queen. Not entirely certain they're gonna be going all the way to some bit like Hatshepsut, for example, that's 1500 BC. Coincidentally, watched the video on Kings and Generals about the Battle of Megiddo. First actually recorded battle, just in case you didn't know. But nonetheless. Nothing
well,
really too consequential.
We got a big look into Age of Empires Mobile, and I have to say the graphics are hot. You know, the aesthetic fidelity that they were talking about. They nailed that. They nailed the look. They nailed the look. You know what I mean? And it's clear the devs care. They're passionate. They had a lot to say about their development and how they want to stay true to Age of Empires.
Yeah, of
and
course.
It's something for every gamer.
Absolutely,
you know?
not something
like,
that everybody is going to say always and every time.
Not everyone's Giga Chad sweaty on. Not to diminish our mobile gamers, but it's something cool for everybody. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool that there's something new and something a little different. And you can pre-register for Age of Empires Mobile now. So, is this guy a streamer? Yes, I am indeed. I put on my casting hat today. Bulumi Prostagma. Okay, I see
what
you
we
guys.
have been asking before a bit.
I see chat. A strategy game. Yep. Yep, indeed. Well, you can pre-register it now, but we also have some updates on 2023 and 2024, things that happened in the esports world for Age of Empires, some really cool things, and I have a video showing you all these new upcoming things, as well as some things that already occurred in the esports side. Let's get into that now.
So we're only a few weeks into 2024, and we've already seen some amazing things happening in the Age of Empires esports scene.
Our community is truly phenomenal, and we are excited to have Age tournaments all year round, big and small. A special thank you to all of our creators, tournament organizers, and admins for putting on such great shows.
In January, we watched as 10 of the best Age 2 players from all over the world headed to Berlin for the 5th and final edition of Nilly's Apartment Cup.
Hera gets an attack round, he needs another one, the Magnos...
The memories made there will last a lifetime, and we'll always look back fondly on years of heartwarming and hilarious moments.
Thank you to Nilly for bringing players and casters together and literally inviting us to your home to watch this unique tournament experience. It's a tough act to follow, but I hear T90 is up to the challenge.
He certainly is. We're glad to see another hidden cup after a 3-year break.
Yes, if there's some kind of comparison between online tournament and a LAN.
Main event starting February 25th.
We have to admit something. We did conspire a little with T90 in choosing the hero names to represent the players. We've hidden a few from our...
But unless it's a tournament that's gonna be starting therefore with the main event since this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Qualifications done.
Heroes were hidden too.
So if you are into that,
I thought we were just having to guess.
you can look around the community for the games.
That's not all we have going on. The release of the Sultan's Ascent expansion brought fresh energy to Age 4 eSports. The new expansion really shook up the meta for players, and there are so many new options to explore.
Adding 2 new civilizations and 4 variant civilizations has really changed the game. We can't wait to see what new strategies players come up with.
There's no better time to see this in action. EGC TV's The Elite Classic 2
Well, it's still kinda pretty much the same. 1 hour long games, heavy fortifications for the win.
And let's not forget
so the meta hasn't changed entirely that much, just the civilizations that have changed a bit, which are used in tournaments.
Red Bull El
Yeah, so this was obviously teased already like a month ago, so everybody knew that. The question is if there's gonna be AoE 4, because AoE 2 has been clear, but there's a pretty big question about 4. So far in all the pictures here, you have only Age of Empires 2 pictures and players and stuff, nothing regarding Age of Empires 4 at all. So that's a bit disappointing for the community, because frankly actually, and this is right now gonna be even just like rubbing the salt into the wound, right? So you're going to be having the calendar for the events, even for AoE 4 here. But nonetheless, it seems like currently that for some reason AoE 4 is not involved, which is very strange, considering that actually they were just boasting the best-selling DLC ever for the franchise. So the game is really not doing too badly numbers-wise. They had really nice ones, especially in the second half of the last year. So it's very kind of strange that they would be following with that. So nobody like knows. Nobody in AoE 4 community knows if it's gonna be happening or not. So far it seems like it's gonna be only AoE 2 DE, which is always gonna be the case. But it's, yeah, a bit confusing for the AoE 4 players, and it's very confusing that they are not basically saying it outright as well, right? They didn't even say that it's gonna be only AoE 2. And so it's just like, why? Why would you be keeping it secret at this point if it was actually added in? So either it's some kind of very weird flex to be keeping them in suspense, but like why? Especially in a moment when plenty of the AoE 4 players are thinking about switching to Stormgate, right? If that's gonna be a decent price pool money. So why would you be doing that? Because Red Bull should be, of course, huge money that would be motivating people to stay. So if it's gonna be turning out that AoE 4 is there, then it's like just like a big, what the hell? And at the same time, if they just kind of don't even confirm at least now that it's not there, it's also just like completely strange. And in general, I think it's making low sense that actually 4 is not involved, considering maybe it could be just like a signal that they already are abandoning it, just like maintaining it with DLCs to milk the money, and that's gonna be practically it. Not any kind of bigger investments for that, and in its product cycle basically. Who knows? But it's really incredibly strange. Interesting that we have AOM here, by the way. Looking forward to Red Rose Woobly tournaments at it there, right? As they have been so much promoted by Microsoft for all those years. They so much love Age of Mythology, so damn much, that they rather not talk about it at all. And God forbid, the original game, that is of course still there as well. So, I'm really kind of not sure what this is about. It's very interesting that it's mentioned like AOM, not Retold, right? Or EE even. For example, we just gonna before this stream, we streamed Extended Edition tournament, so it's very strange what we have here.
We've added an official events calendar to our website, covering tournaments and in-game events and information, so you can easily see
Paris
what's
is at least
happening
somewhat
in one
kind of nice and
place.
helpful a bit.
No spoilers there.
This
though.
is something that has
Some
been, by the way,
users will have to
asked
wait for a
in...
big reveal.
No, the kind of like, no, specifically not this. In Age of Empires 2 community for years, it was requested to be a tournament calendar, but not like for the public necessarily, but for the tournament hosts, so that people will be knowing when they can host a tournament, so that they do not conflict with some kind of huge one sponsored by Microsoft, right? So that's always been a huge problem, how to kind of like navigate that. This is not gonna be helping with it, definitely not. They're gonna be just like secretive, it seems like still. And maybe at least for the public, I guess you're gonna be having some slightly better idea what's going on. Though frankly, if you're at least partially in the community, you know anyway.
For Age of Empires eSports.
So not sure if it's gonna be changing too much.
Guys, there's some big stuff coming. There's some big stuff coming.
Yeah, now is the one
the
that you're waiting
calendar
for.
is so good. You'll never have another excuse to miss a tournament. I know I'll be tuning in. For example, next week, Hidden Cup starting the 25th, hosted by my friend T90, who's been hyping it up. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to be tuning in. And also, you know, seeing those clips from the Apartment Cup, it's like... It's so wholesome to see that and how friendships can form over a game like this, you know? I know I was in, oh man, what was it called? I was in Out to Lunch Clan back in the day on Age of Empires, and it was so cool. It was so cool. We met in-game. We were just random allies. And this was someone I played with for years. We've fallen out of touch now, but that's making me think I should reunite with those old connections and those people that I used to game with. And of course Red Bull El Reinado. Is that a location, chat? I need to. I'm not entirely certain, chat. This is when you guys come in with that information. We need this. We need this quality information, this knowledge. Oh, I don't think they know. I don't think it means the kingdom. Okay, all right.
Oh, the kingdom.
Cool. That's kind of sick.
But I mean, like, considering the name, it's very good chance it's gonna be in Spain. And frankly, Spain should be cheaper than Germany, to be honest.
But I imagine
and it's also gonna be as easy to get to. Maybe actually easier to get to than Germany.
Bro, Dragonborn, we found the Turks, main, everybody. Bro's asking for a Turks buff. They're already OP, bro. They're all right, but that's neither here nor there. That's all the announcements.
But yeah, Spain should be really quite a bit cheaper than Germany, to be honest, for even renting the castle. So I can definitely understand moving there.
We got
and it's a really good historical country anyway.
Something
so
a little
no problem.
special. I haven't seen this next one, guys. I haven't seen this next one.
Yeah, here's the one.
They wouldn't show me, and because I wanted to see it live with all of you guys, and what do you guys think it is? I feel like there was something.
Yeah, that was kind of funny in chat. I mean, like the chat was definitely predominantly looking for Age of Mythology, and they were actually going as far. Probably, I don't know, maybe being a bit too annoying, but they were actually even here and there deleting streams or the messages regarding AOM. They were probably a bit too annoying people. I'm not sure because there were others that were left there. So I guess maybe some more annoying people.
Prostagma. Hello, heroes. I'm here in the studio today using augmented reality to step into the world of Age of Mythology Retold. Yes, I am standing next to a Titan Gate, and yes, we will get to that very soon. My name is Melinda Rose, and I am the art director here at World's Edge, and I feel so honored to be a part of this team and to be able to show off.
Okay, so can we right now get some kind of little pieces of information for what they have here? And I'm gonna be showing.
Have been working so hard on, and we love so much. So in Age of
There's a menu, right?
Retold
on the
you
left
that
side.
we all have been working so hard on, and we love.
Here. That seems to be fairly basic, so I'm kind of hoping that's not gonna be a kind of finished work.
Love so much. So, in Age of Mythology...
That is AoE 3 though, right now this guy's working on.
To you that we all
that is a multiplayer
so
screen there.
So,
yeah, that's looking like an AoE 3 to me. At least oh no. That is Age of Mythology TC. That is an Age of Mythology TC he has there. Very much so. That is a Greek one. Huh. So you can maybe kind of tell the interface a bit there. Can we get a bit closer?
In Age of Mythology,
you're gonna be able to, of course, see it better on the video, so I recommend maybe watching that yourself. So what do we have here as the pictures? I'm running it on 720 because otherwise 1080 it's gonna be a bit stuttery, but let's see, maybe it's gonna be improving a bit to have some more view. That seems to be somewhat basic, can't even read what the text is.
Retold, we all have been working so hard on and we love so much. So
yeah, that is definitely, that is by the way Ekanta. That is by the way straight Ekanta this way. Right? If you can be seeing it on my streams, for example, there is Ekanta UI, that is not the original at all, so this is kind of funny. Seems like they might be adopting Ekanta as a version. I mean, like, they already have somewhat of that on Extended Edition. When you're gonna be removing kind of like the opacity of the UI, it's gonna be looking somewhat similar. But yes, that is definitely Ekanta-like. What is the one to the top side? I have no idea what that is. He doesn't seem to be having players. That's gonna be player score probably. Yeah, that's gonna be player score. But you can just gonna get away with the the black background in there. Seems like a dev for resources to the top for the UI. In the middle, that's gonna be, yeah, the first god power on the left, second, third, fourth. I'm not sure if you properly see the mouse. I don't have any kind of selection, but that's the first god power, right? Second, third, fourth slot. Main god probably in the middle there for us, the picture. It's going to be... yeah, that is certainly AOMTC. At least that way, at least it looks to me that way.
In Age of Mythology...
it's kind of unfortunately too low quality to be able to tell. Anything else? Do I have some kind of cool pictures somewhere? That seems to be some Age of Mythology here at the door.
Retold.
And this screen, I have no idea what that is, actually, this one. It's gonna be the players. Is it gonna be like starting screen into multiplayer? That seems to be the options here on the left side somehow. So really tough to say what this is supposed to be. Some picture into the middle. I don't know, it partway kinda looks like loading screen into a game, I think. And hey, Pound Town. Yeah, we're gonna be looking through all of that. I'm just kinda like now trying to see some kind of maybe details on the video that we didn't entirely get to see otherwise in further detail, of course. So let's see if it's gonna be not stuttering, as I'm gonna be leaving it on some higher resolution right now for AOM.
We're not only...
yeah, that's looking like a budget.
upgrading the engine and...
yeah, I'm fairly certain that's a budget.
So, in Age of Mythology Retold, we're not only upgrading the engine and bringing all of those quality of life improvements that you've...
Retold. Beta! They have beta? And they haven't shown anything? Picture me and color me actually very skeptical about beta, therefore. So they apparently have a beta now. It could be fitting, basically they have already started a year and a half ago. They supposedly started work on the Retold on the 25th anniversary. They didn't have any kind of work before. Supposedly that's usually where they started approximately. So the production pipeline would be for the autumn of this year, would be like 2 years, which is somewhat okay. But considering that like half a year before release, they're not basically showing anything at all. I'm not liking that at all. Very much not liking that. That seems like a rushed release to me. So I'm hoping I'm gonna be wrong, but it doesn't look too good if they're actually gonna be taking so long to even show something like this. And they basically haven't shown anything too much today. But nonetheless, apparently beta, which should be therefore feature complete. And very close to being a final release, therefore. So I wonder if there's gonna be some kind of closed beta test therefore soon. Oh yeah, I know there is already a game, and there is a listing, but I'm kind of just talking about the fact that they have a beta here already.
Come to expect from.
Okay, that's editor, so confirm that's gonna be in. Yeah, that seems to be fairly standard user interface for the editor, and yes, they have. And that's actually AoE 2, and the top is like AOM probably part. Oh no, that's not. That's Age of Empires 1. I'm just kind of looking off the pyramid, but those towers are Age of Empires 1 towers for Babylonians and stuff. So that's not AOM here to the top. Yeah, I'm gonna be going through all of that. Don't you worry. I'm just gonna go in right now through the details here. So that seems like also it's gonna be having some, you can see right now the special pictures here and notes. So I guess it's gonna be probably improved. Hopefully it will, and oh well, look at the left side though. Look at the left monitor. That's gonna be a bit more curious.
Upgrading the engine and bringing all of those quality of life improvements that you've come to.
Okay, that one. Okay, so QWERTY hotkeys for them. Secrets of the Titans, cost is gonna be the same, 800 each, 50 favor. Town Center Yorkle, okay, that's... Yeah, right now you can see the blue color in there. That's gonna be coinciding with the screen on that previous monitor. It's gonna be some kind of dev chat, I guess, there, probably. Oh, 25... Wait, what? 25? Oh, that's actually... Yes, right. 25, that seems to be okay, right? For a TC, for the garrison and limit. I was slightly curious about if it's not supposed to be meaning population limit for wills. That would be too high. But no, that's gonna be garrison, of course. 20 range. They definitely... No, definitely, we don't see entirely all of it. But it seems to be at this point showing maybe like... Not 3-time arrows is weird. Isn't it 2 for TC? Defense is through top. Yeah, they're definitely gonna be changing the user interface and when they're gonna be and where they're gonna be showing things, as you can tell. So this is gonna be like left side for the build up, middle for middle. That depends. I mean, like so far it's gonna be somewhat similar, right? You're gonna be having middle, left part, possibly maybe resources on the left, depending on the user interface. You're just gonna see just a bit of a piece here. Nothing too much, I guess, to be seen of that. These are units though, right? On QWERTY. Yeah, I think those are actually units. So you're gonna be therefore having user interface as in if you have played Stormgate, if you have watched me play it. So you're gonna be at the top, units, maybe irrelevant of buildings, and below that you're gonna be having hotkeys for buildings. That is a fairly vast actually change, if that's gonna be true. Not sure if I'm having any kind of problem with that, if it can be turned off. It's gonna be nice for casuals, I guess. But for competitive gameplay, it obviously doesn't matter too much, because you need to be selecting where you're gonna be making the units, right, in the first place. But it seems like that might be actually the change to the interface. That you're gonna be able to basically from where you click in units or buildings, you're gonna be able to immediately click units as well. And they just gonna be assigned to some kind of military building somewhere, maybe. Again, it's something that is done in Stormgate, so it wouldn't surprise me if maybe they took inspiration.
Expect from World's Edge. But in addition to that, we're doing even more to update the art. So that means
okay, so what do we have here?
All new 3D models, all new animations.
All new 3D models, animations, no, of course. Okay. Left part, yes. Middle seems to be somewhat standard. Not any kind of interesting information there, I guess.
Textures, UI, VFX, the whole shebang. So we are going to be showing off 3 characters from the Greek civilization: Medusa, Pegasus, and Cerberus. You know, usually you'd be seeing them from high up in the skies. You can.
By the way, the back picture in there. That is somewhat similar to what even some other people are using. For the background, wasn't it like the original without Chinese expansion? As in original for extended edition. Might have been.
Command your battles, but I'm biased and I wanted to show the characters as close to life size as we can fit them. Well, without any further ado, let's bring Medusa into the studio. You excited? I am so excited. Oh, hello! This is so cool.
So my first idea on this, that is kind of like surprisingly low quality. As in, it does have some really neat details, but in general the model seems to be kind of like fairly kind of outdated. So I'm thinking it's gonna be looking quite fine when it's gonna be small. This is obviously the problem, that it's massively upscaled, right? But in general, I kind of think that I was expecting something a bit kind of like more realistic or some such, not sure, but something along those lines. So while I definitely appreciate the details that it has, I'm just kind of thinking that the models really look a bit weird, like not detailed enough as far as kind of like, I guess maybe the amount of angles and whatnot, but that may be just like a limitation of the engine, frankly, because I mean, like, it is still a 20 years old engine, so you probably can't be entirely doing some huge wonders on that. But yeah, my first reaction to this was that I was expecting that it's gonna be a bit more. Nonetheless, let's continue.
In real life like this, she's not so low poly anymore, is she? From this distance,
But overall, the details are kind of nice, like on the clothing, the skills and whatnot.
All the details we've added to her models.
Thinking it's gonna be looking quite a bit alright when it's gonna be in proper scale for the game. So I'm not entirely certain if they're actually doing it any kind of good kind of service, trying to show it this way. I mean, like, you can definitely see plenty of the angles right there.
And if you're
I mean, they were just like cutting short things somewhat, so they can be probably maybe fitting them into the model properly. I don't know if they are really somewhat blocked on memory amount. I don't know.
Keep this rolling, so I'm just gonna cut straight to her death animation. Medusa, I'm so sorry to see you go.
Oh, that sound!
Oh, that's brutal.
Well, that was actually a bit quick.
Oh, that sound!
Oh, that's brutal, isn't it? See you go.
Oh, that sound!
Oh, that's brutal, isn't it?
I guess, again, we're gonna be having to see it on small.
Let's bring in Pegasus.
No, Pegasus looks kinda corny slightly.
Oh, he's so cute, isn't he? So Pegasus is the majestic winged horse who serves as an
And it seems kind of like I was also seeing it mentioned. The animation seems kind of like not entirely like properly following, right? A bit janky slightly.
When you upgrade your myth units through technologies, those units will get a
I guess
brand
it can
new
be hopefully
visual
honed a bit
upgrade to
better.
reflect
It
that
shouldn't be too
increase in
hard to
power.
have some proper
So we're looking at the upgraded
animation
version today. Say hello, Pegasus.
But again, just kind of like a showcase that if you look, for example, at the feathers, right, and everything,
I don't want to keep us too long from the Titan that
it does have some details, but at the same time, just gonna, for me, feel a bit kind of like lacking. So I just have to imagine they can be doing more with the engine.
I knew that.
Alright, last but not least, let's bring in Cerberus.
But again, I have to be again mentioning, this is massively upscaled, so it's gonna be, of course, looking not as cool as it's gonna be in proper size. Whereas this guy's looking, detail-wise, actually fairly nice.
We made for Age of Mythology Retold back when we were trying to decide, you know, what we wanted this game to look like. He wears heavy chains and tattered armor, which represent his escape from the underworld, as well as the mark of Hades on his shoulder pauldrons. Titan.
I can say the bat now. Again, just kind of when you look at it, but of course can't be expecting anything like if you would be having modern engine and every single hair. But it just kind of adds into a bit of a, like, the uncanny feeling.
Have been upgraded to be more powerful against walls and buildings.
They are like
and even
plastic
rivers and
figures,
oceans
right?
won't be able to stop their wrecking power.
Of course, you mustn't forget that we are still kind of comparing to something that is 20 years old, and therefore it's gonna be having way less polygons and way more sides to it, let's say, and angles. So while the original game is really nice, at least from my point of view, I definitely do recognize that it's 20 years old and old engine. So not like it cannot be looking better, absolutely it can, and this is going to be looking more detailed and stuff.
We'll see him on the battlefield eventually. I'm sorry, Cerberus, you gotta get going. Oh, wish I could do that to my opponents in game. So, to wrap things up, our goal is to not only pay homage to the past, but to breathe new life into this game and maximize the mythology. And one more thing before I go, I would like to reveal our official cover art, featuring so many.
Yeah, this one is, in my opinion, straight not good. I'm just kinda thinking they are just trying to push there way too many things for no reason whatsoever. I don't understand why they have to be making so kinda like Marvel bombastic or whatnot. And yeah, if you compare it with the original Age of Mythology, I have a picture of that. Which one is it here? No, this one. No, Jesus, where I have that? Here. The original AOM. I mean, like, look at that. This is just like, for me, this is just like pure beauty. This is a great piece of art. Clean, not overcrowded. Like you're just having a battle through bottom, but nonetheless, on the three gods, you just don't have to be showing everything there. For, like, why? This is, in my opinion, looking miles better than what you have in here. This is just like, I don't know why, just overdone. Way too many things there at once. It's at least not as trash as it was for Extended Edition at launch, in case you don't remember. Yeah, that was quite a bit of a disaster. Because they tried to be going for a completely different direction of the art with Extended Edition, and it was actually really so damn ugly that they were even forced to change it so that it looks at least respectable and way closer to the original. That was quite a bit something. But here, yeah, well, they're already committed to that, but nonetheless, what we can actually get from this is... No, so we have, of course, Odin, there's Loki on the left side, with Fenrisis, that's gonna be Minotaur at the end, or here at the back. Of course, classic Ra Pyramid Wonder. Mr. Thor, Isis in the middle. She seems to be not much as Booba, but she's having different hands, so we'll see what they did with her. Amanra, right? Arkantos, and... Oh, I don't remember what this one is called. I haven't played the campaigns for a long time, so if somebody can help. Of course, Anubis, Athena here to the right. Guy is very weird. I'm not entirely certain if I agree with her being Groot, basically. I don't like it too much. I think it's a bit too corny. And just like, why should it be why she should be that way? I mean, like... Ragan Leif, yeah. That's gonna be her. Thank you very much, Pefimoso. Really, I'm not entirely agreeing with this. Why to make her in such a way, but I guess... That's gonna be actually also meaning that we won't be having her cool Titan, right, anymore. Or kind of like representation, let's say. It's not a Titan, really. Oh, of course, Poseidon, Zeus. And we have right about now Ra. Something specific otherwise. Does not seem so too much. Meteors right now from the skies. Yeah, some kind of representation, not having everybody. But it seems to be just like a bit too many things at once. That didn't need to be doing it as much. It's not terrible, but I think the original is nicer.
Gods and heroes players will remember. I am excited to announce the Age of Mythology Retold will be available on day one on both PC and Xbox.
2024, as you can expect it, should be some autumn, probably classic October or some such.
Comparison images of the 3 models that we've showcased today. And don't forget to wishlist us to stay informed in the future. Our Cantos will awaken in 2024. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Wait, what was she saying a bit earlier when I was talking over it?
This is the majestic winged horse who serves as an archaic age aerial scout for the Greek civilization. This Pegasus looks a little fancier than you may remember, and that is because in Age of Mythology Retold, when you upgrade your myth units through technologies, those units will get a brand new visual upgrade to reflect that increase in power. So we're looking at the upgraded version.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't entirely too common. I'm having that through my mods on Woobly.
I don't want to keep us too long.
So that's kind of nice to be having those visual upgrades, I guess. Depends how far they're gonna be going.
Oh, that.
Oh, that makes me so. Say goodbye.
Oh, that.
That kind of like wing turn there is a bit weird at the end, but nonetheless, that's fine, I guess.
Let's bring in Cerberus. This is the Hound of Hades and Titan of the Greek civilization.
It's gonna be probably the animation, I imagine. Or is it? Is it gonna be the animation for the Summoning of the Titan? And will she summon in the
this rolling,
Pegasus?
so I'm just gonna cut straight to her death animation. Medusa, I'm so sorry to see you go.
Oh, that sound!
Oh, that's brutal, isn't it? Well, next up, let's
No,
bring
just
in
gonna...
Pegasus.
Yeah, that's gonna be probably animation for spawn... Wow, actually went... Can say another Kataskopos straight through the guys in there. That is a bit interesting detail, by the way.
Hi, Pegasus.
Hmm.
Oh, he's so cute, isn't he?
Interesting.
So Pegasus is the majestic
Regarding
winged horse who
pathfinding.
serves a little Last but not least, let's bring
Yeah,
in
so it seems like this is gonna be
Cerberus.
probably the summon animation for the Titan then.
This is the Hound
It
of
looks
Hades
kinda
and Titan
weak
of
if it's gonna be really
Civilization.
the finished
He's a little
one.
smaller again than who will be in game, but believe it or not, this was one of the first models that we made for Age of Mythology Retold back when we were trying to decide, what we wanted this game to look like. He wears heavy chains and tattered armor, which represent his escape from the underworld, as well as the mark of Hades on his shoulder pauldrons. Titans have been upgraded to be more powerful against walls and buildings, and even rivers and oceans won't be able to
Oh,
stop
so that's what they were saying here. They actually improved Titans. That's what I have been asking at least for a long time, because they are underwhelming, frankly.
Walls and buildings, and even rivers and oceans won't be able to stop their wrecking power.
Yeah, and they can be
With
going
3
through Medit, for
ferocious
example,
heads
through
and more
sea.
destructive power than ever before, Cerberus will be a formidable
It's making sense.
opponent or a
Frankly, this is
powerful
something that
ally
I
in
have been
Age of
saying,
Mythology Retold.
so at least something they're gonna be doing somewhat reasonably. I don't think there's any kind of reason to be
Obviously raring to go, and we will see him on the
really
battlefield
keeping them basically from
eventually.
crossing
I'm sorry,
water.
Cerberus, you
There's
gotta
not
get
that kind of
going.
reason for that, really.
Oh.
They are supposed to be basically game closers, and they certainly do not
that
work
to my
that way
opponents
currently in the
in-game.
game.
So,
They are
to
way
wrap
too weak
things
for that
up,
and
our
way
goal
too
is to not only pay
abusable
homage to the past, but to breathe new
as far
life
as
into
basically
this
blocking the
game and
pathfinding and
maximize
such.
the mythology. And one more thing before I go.
So yes,
I would like to reveal
I think
our
that's gonna be
official
alright. So that's
cover
an
art,
important
featuring
piece of
so many
information
of
at
the
least that we
iconic
get.
gods and heroes players will remember.
Yeah, they Titans can be walking through water,
I'm
and they're gonna be
excited to
stronger
announce that
against
Age of
buildings and
Mythology
walls.
Retold will be available
Which
on
is
day
definitely
one on
correct.
both
I'm just kinda
PC
wondering
and
if they're gonna be
Xbox.
fixing the pathfinding, because that can be completely useless
So
if
follow
that's
us
not
on
gonna be
socials
fixed
for
properly.
behind-the-scenes concept art,
That
as
is the
well as
biggest
before
part.
and
I'm
after
thinking they should be able to
comparison
walk
images
through
of the 3
units.
models that we've showcased today. And don't
Because
forget
they are
to
simply too
wishlist
big
us
for to be
stay
stopped by them.
informed in the
Maybe just
future.
like have some kind of
Our
block by,
Cantos
I don't know,
will
Helepolis or I
awaken
don't
in
know,
2024.
Colossus, but
Thanks for
normal
watching,
units shouldn't be
everyone.
stopping them and shouldn't be able to path block them. So they should maybe say something different with the first, with the Medusa that I
You can
talked
even see her
over.
vertical her armor is we've added. This is so cool to see her in real life like this. She's not so low poly anymore, is she? From this distance, you're able to see all the details we've added to her model to tell her story. Each strand of her hair is an individual wild snake. She wears Grecian-styled golden snake armbands. Her armor is made up of flexible scale mail to mimic scales. And if you're brave enough to get super close and risk being petrified and turned to stone, you can even see her vertical snake-like pupils. All right, well, I don't have any good counters for Medusa in the building today, and we got to keep this rolling, so I'm just going to cut straight to her death animation. Medusa, I'm so sorry to see you go.
They didn't say anything with the Pegasus, right? They were just kinda saying that units are gonna be having different models as per upgrades.
So Pegasus is the
So that's what we
majestic
got from
winged
the
horse who
Pegasus.
serves as an archaic age aerial scout for the Greek civilization. This Pegasus looks a little fancier than you may remember, and that is because in Age of Mythology Retold, when you upgrade your myth units through technologies, those units will get a brand new visual upgrade to reflect that increase in power. So we're looking at the upgraded version today. Say hello, Pegasus. I don't want to keep us too long from the Titan that you're all excited to see, so I'm sorry, Pegasus. We have to say goodbye.
Oh, that.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
I knew
All
that.
right, last but not least, let's bring in Cerberus. This is the Hound of Hades and Titan of the Greek civilization. He's a little smaller again than who will be in game, but believe it or not, this was one of the first models that we made for Age of Mythology Retold back when we were trying to decide, what we wanted this game to look like. He wears heavy chains and
So this
tattered
also
armor,
probably
which
means...
represent his
No,
escape from the
probably.
underworld, as well as the mark of Hades on his
No,
shoulder.
it doesn't
pauldron.
have to.
Titans have been upgraded to be more powerful against walls and buildings, and even rivers and oceans won't be able to stop their wrecking power. With 3 ferocious heads and more destructive power than ever before, Cerberus will be a formidable opponent or a powerful ally in Age of Mythology Retold.
Yeah, like the mark of Hades in there, and that was kind of like the detail. I'm still kind of maybe halfway hoping that you're gonna be having specific titans for each major god, not only for civilization. I think it would be really cool as to be having a specific one for each of them.
Wish I could do that to my opponents in game. So,
But
to wrap things
we'll
up,
see if
our
they're gonna be
goal
wanting to
is
take
not only pay
that
homage to
actually
the
work
past,
on.
but to breathe new life into this game and maximize the mythology.
No, but the rest we have
Featuring
already
so
then
many
foreseen.
of the iconic gods and heroes, players will reveal our official cover art. Featuring so many of the iconic gods
Also,
and heroes,
definitely
players will
I'm
remember.
bothered by this, that they're having the Age of Mythology in one line, kind of the
I'm
off on the
excited
left
to
side and
announce
off
that
center,
Age of
because
Mythology
everything else is
Retold
this
will be
way, right?
available on
It's
day
like the
one on
only
both
menu
PC
or
and
only
Xbox.
graphics that is this way, so it's, I guess, just like
So
OCD
follow us
bothering
on
me.
socials for behind-the-scenes concept art as well as before and after
Age of
comparison images
Midgame,
of the
yes,
three
we
models
have
that we've
seen
showcased
Instagram.
today.
That was actually
And
somewhat
don't forget to
recently
wishlist
taken.
us to stay informed in the future. Our Cantos will awaken in 2024.
It's interesting that they
Thanks for
basically
watching,
don't
everyone.
advertise their Discord for some reason. I don't understand why, kind of.
Guys, this year, 2024, we are nearly there.
So,
you can
I'll be
wishlist
looking
it
at some of the
now.
other
Age
things
of
on Steam and
Mythology
that
Retold.
article
I get
that was suggested in
to
chat.
tell you guys, trust.
Because I don't think there's anything else
This is-
now.
I used to play
I think
so
there was
much
just some kind of
Age of
gameplay and
Mythology,
yeah,
good
well, we don't
lord.
care about it really too
when
much.
I was a kid, I would
You
do
can
all those
possibly watch
goofy
it
little,
yourself on YouTube,
mini
on
games
Twitch.
like Cat and Mouse. Did you guys ever play that? Cat and Mouse. What else?
Yeah, that
then
used to
there
be
was,
really
like,
popular in the
Hero
olden
Blood or
times.
something.
So you probably
37
did
years
play in
ago,
the
bro.
olden times.
It ain't-
Cat and Mouse is
Are
an
you
old
saying I
school
was a
scenario.
kid 37 years? All right, relax, pal.
It's not played today too much.
Hero
Oh,
RPG.
at all.
Bro, when they killed Pegasus, I felt that. But I have something to show you guys. That I've gotten some models, the specific models that I can scrub through. So let me get into the first model now. Let me take a look at this. Dang. Why are they recording? I remember this music. Is this the yeah, is this the mythology music? All right, Mastima. You gotta relax, buddy. This ain't that kind of stream, pal. Okay.
Can't imagine what he was saying then there.
Snakehead. Is Medusa an archer? This is the Greek intro music.
Hoping that wasn't him asking that. Taking away his credentials,
He's an
not
archer.
knowing what Medusa is in Age of
Okay.
Mythology.
I remember centaurs. Those were archers. That's what I remember. For some reason, I thought I didn't think she was an archer in my brain. It's the Greek theme. Okay. Okay. Special ability to turn land units into stone. The Minotaurs. I remember those. I remember those. Archer with heavy damage. Okay, well, let's go look at Pegasus now. Oh, I love how they got the goofy music for Pegasus.
Yeah, I can definitely see kind of like the cut in the animation, right? That it doesn't entirely fit
just-
into like the whole
Just
cycle.
chilling.
But that's not gonna be hard to
And they
fix.
just mirror him. All right, fair enough.
It's kind of like the really, just like the feel from the
Kill
graphics.
Pegasus,
That
bro,
it's basically
that
like some
moment,
plastic
I realized that
figurines
was
or
gonna
whatnot
happen. I knew it
of
was
the
gonna be a
units.
tough watch.
So I was maybe kind of expecting something a bit different. I'm kind of believing that it's gonna be looking somewhat alright when it's gonna be in
look
proper
cool,
scale.
and these
It's
don't
obviously
fight,
gonna be
right?
quite a bit
I don't think Pegasus-
overwhelming
oh.
when it's gonna be so big.
Okay, relax. Chill.
Doesn't have a bad hole, it looks like. Not like it's anything present
looks
in the
cool, though.
original
Apparently
animation.
this is like an elite
or even
Pegasus.
relevant.
Okay. All right, yo, chill, Rinaba. Relax, pal. I need him IRL. He's so little. I thought he was gonna be a full-sized horsey. I would have a flying horse as a pet. Oh. He's just kind of chill, you know? I didn't know bro was chill like that. All right. Man, didn't you just say you played a lot of AOM? How do you not remember? Bro, this was like a decade plus ago. I've had so much trauma since then, man. Let me chill. All right. Model 3. I think this should be Cerberus.
Yeah, that
then
actually
this is
brings me to an
combat music.
idea, actually, recognizability
Trauma
of the
since then,
units.
man. Let me
I mean, like
chill.
the Pegasus is alright. But how about the Medusa?
Oh.
Was it kind of evident what color she
He's an
is?
archer. Medusa and Mythology.
She doesn't seem to be really having any kind of like stripes on her, right?
Hey.
If those are supposed to be, probably that orange is supposed to be the
Why are
color.
they recording?
I guess.
I remember this music. Is this the
maybe it's gonna be
is
enough.
this the Mythology
I mean, like the original one also
music?
doesn't have too many other
Alright,
things than on the
Mastima.
tail, right? And maybe she's
relax,
having
buddy.
something on the armor on the chest, not sure, but mainly the tail
See
is
that
very
kinda stream,
how you
bro.
recognize who she belongs to, so I guess that's gonna be similar.
Okay.
It's gonna be probably there for the orange color on the tail.
I love how they got. I knew it was gonna. This looks cool though.
And also
Apparently,
thank
this
you
is
for the follow.
would have a flying horse as a man. All right, Model 3. I think this
Oh, and
should
for
be
the Titan,
Cerberus.
frankly, you don't entirely need too much. That's gonna be
then
kind
this
of
is
evident
combat
whose it
music,
is,
right?
so that probably isn't going to be that much of a concern. Having right now just the shoulder pads.
Eat a dog.
And I think in trousers, right? And he's having some band on the foot. Yeah, the loincloth.
This
It
is the
should be
battle
more than enough.
OST, right? Siege music. Okay. Good dogs. Certifiably good, boys. Scars are cool. The designs are, like, we're seeing them up close, but when they're on a battlefield and there's 30 of them moving around, it's gonna look really cool. Like all that
30 Titans,
stuff.
no. Well,
These,
good luck with that scenario.
All right. Well, folks, you can wishlist AOM right now. Age of Mythology Retold. A lot of stuff to look forward to. All right, so what have we gone through? Age of Empires 2,
Thinking that's
Victors
gonna
and
be all of it,
Vanquished.
right? At this point, it's
You
gonna
can
seem.
pre-order
gonna be
that
able to
now
delve
for
into some further
15% off.
info on Age of
All the
Mythology
Age 3,
from other
Age 4
sources.
news. You can wishlist Age of Mythology Retold now, coming out 2024, and you can pre-register for Age of Empires Mobile as well. Lots of stuff happening in the Age of Empires community. Very exciting, but we're about to shift gears, everybody. We're going to be playing one of the new Age of Empires 2 updates, Victors and Vanquished. However, I have a very special guest who you got a sneak peek of in the video a few minutes ago. Welcome to the stream,
looking at that.
creator
Yes,
of
okay.
these scenarios,
So that's gonna be all of it.
Ramzi Abdul-Rahim.
No need to be watching anything else, therefore. You can potentially see this, of course, on the YouTube, Twitch, and whatever else. So let's have a look therefore on some further images that we are having currently on Steam. They also didn't have any kind of price here, just a wish list. Let's see if maybe that was updated as with the DLC then. Nope, so we still don't have any kind of information, and this is kind of like the teaser that we were having before, right? Yeah, that's the one that was a year and a half ago released. Okay, cut me down. Okay, so nothing too much new. No, and now the pictures. And when I saw this picture first, I was just kind of like, hey, this is Extended Edition 2.0. That looks so close actually at first sight, with all the shadows and whatever. But then of course you see kind of like the bit of different details, like for example the Phoenix here, and all looks a bit different. Same as right now, the kind of flame and stuff. So what can we maybe glean from this? Okay, the pyramid, that's... If that's supposed to be the wonder, then that scale is completely bonkers, right? Like, why would you be having such a nice and high entrance and basically such a small pyramid that looks very weird, to be honest? Migdol, oh, seems kind of okay. Rock is actually significantly different. Wow, that is actually a rock here to the right. That guy looks not the same. Elephants, of course. A bit kind of weird how they are clad in bronze as opposed to yellow, right? When you're gonna be having champion elephants. Scarab apparently went all kinds of multicolored. I guess that's gonna be... I mean, like, Scarab doesn't have upgrade, though. So that's not gonna be anything with that. Scorpion Man to the south. That's Vajet? Wow, that's actually Vajet here on the left. I was gonna almost contemplating if it's gonna be Vermilion Bird from Chinese, because he is kind of like multicolored like that. But that is... I wouldn't even recognize Vajet at all. Jesus Christ, those wings. And quite a bit oversized for him to what we are used to. Sorry. Sorry for that. Monument to pharaohs. Monument to gods. Monument to villagers, soldiers. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's villagers, soldiers. Or is that priests, this one? I can like never recognize them properly. Not too many people are gonna be going with them all the way. But this one should be to the gods, the last one. Oh well. Not sure nonetheless, you can see right now. That's gonna be Tartarian spawns here on the left. Anubite, that seems to be the same practically. Mummy here to the right. Definitely recommend opening, of course, on Steam. And watching the pictures yourself instead of my quality here. If you want to be getting some further details. At Phoenix kinda depends how he's gonna be looking when he's gonna be moving, right? That's kinda like the fun part with him. Catapults. Who is that? No, Son of Osiris apparently seems like that Osiris was quite a bit prolific, I guess. Petsuchos is looking like a proper crocodile. It seems like he's gonna be having some storied skin. From what I can tell here. The budgets are just like a bit jarring. That is a slinger. It's gonna be... I'm kind of contemplating if it's Kopesh or not, but it probably is not going to be. I mean, like, these are slingers. So they are probably slingers, I guess. Because that's the only unit they have here. It seems like the Egyptians. Charioteers with... Okay. I'm gonna be looking forward how, for example, bronze is going to be. If they're gonna be having still square wheels and stuff, or if it's gonna be different. You can say right now lightning is not gonna be as thick as it is in the game. That probably isn't going to be too much of an issue. Avengers here to the top. Axemen are gonna be here on the picture. Don't seem anything out of place currently, so just kind of like updated graphics you can therefore look into. So yeah, when I was looking at this first, I was just kind of thinking with the lightings and the shadows and whatever that it looked like almost Extended Edition 2.0, but on the details it's gonna be looking, well, definitely better than that. But let's have a look maybe on some other picture. Yeah, this one is kind of a bit sketchier for me. This one already looks like a bit off of what I would be expecting of the game. The first one actually looks somewhat alright, and I'm looking at all it in the detail at this point. But this one looks very kind of like more cartoony than I would be liking, frankly. Some kind of feel of that. And it's kind of somewhat of a similar problem as with the models of the units themselves. That they are, on one hand, quite a bit detailed. On the other, they actually seem kind of not enough so, somehow. Like, they are detailed on one hand, and from the other hand, kind of not. It's hard to explain somewhat. Seems something like missing. There's a certain stylization. Because I've always considered Age of Mythology graphics to be practically realistic. Right? That it wasn't anything goofy or whatnot. It was just like a realistic attempt on mythology graphics practically. And that's what I was expecting here is gonna be like the next level, right? And what they're gonna be trying to do. But it just kinda feels like it's more into like the AoE 4 direction. Not as much, frankly. AoE 4 is way worse into the cartoony look. So this looks actually better than that. But it's simply kinda not entirely what I was expecting. I was expecting that they're gonna be able to go deeper into the graphics. I'm not sure if there's some kind of limitation in the engine that's not allowing them. I don't know. On the other hand, that's gonna be at least a hope that it's gonna be therefore limiting the requirements. That it's not gonna be as tough on the computers, therefore, because of that. Because if you, for example, look at the flowers and the textures, especially on the ground, it's gonna be a bit more evident on different pictures. They apparently are not gonna be really just overdoing that too much, which I'm kinda happy with, because that is usually performance eater. But yeah, it just kinda like fits into the idea that it is kinda somewhat not entirely all the way where I would be imagining that they might have wanted to go. Not sure, really, if it's really some kind of limitation or not. The argy are teda very hard to recognize, the argy here. They look way different. But well, if you're gonna be seeing multiple eyes, I guess you're gonna be imagining and understanding that. So that's gonna be the Gaia from the campaign. Well, no booba. That's gonna be gone. They just want to be taking everything from us. Not even that is gonna be allowed. So I can imagine that Isis is probably gonna be no booba as well. That's a shame. I mean, like, she's pretty. But nonetheless, that's gonna be there for quite an imagination. And I mean, like, was she actually as thick? I mean, like, original Gaia. Hopefully nothing bad is gonna be showing up here. Ah, she kinda was, it seems like. And there we go. Not as much. I mean, like, it's a bit of a difference, right, from this. I just kinda don't understand why they have the need to remove those things. I mean, like, does it really bother anybody? Besides some raging activists. I mean, like, this is just like not really anything too bad. If you want to be really annoyed by somebody, you are having whole Japanese culture and anime and all kinds of games of that ilk that are way worse and they are way more explicit even. So, well, not gonna be anything like tragic, of course, but it's just like unnecessary in my opinion this way. Atlantean Titan is looking... Atlantean Titan is frankly looking bad to me. He actually seems to be in the air, isn't he? Either he's jumping or he's not entirely properly, like, rooted in there. Heka Gigantes are looking like basically more... That's actually a bit weird. You can see right now at this point they're looking more like normal dudes with extra hands. Whereas in AOM, the original one, they are just like huge hunking giants, right? This definitely doesn't have that feel. This is looking like some kind of... I mean, like... your neighbor going in for a fight. Definitely doesn't seem that oomph, and but way more like in the original ones. Satyrs apparently having some pointed sticks instead of some proper spears. Atlantean Temple kinda looks a lot of bloom on it, maybe. So not sure how it's looking. Behemoths are gonna be practically improved Triceratops. Bit of a short body for him. Hero... Oh, wait. Do you want to do that? Hero Contarius. Kinda looks a bit bland, maybe. Maybe it's just like some kind of already upgrade. Kinda like the white cloth on the horsey. Dryads to the top. Okay. Dryad 3 to the right side. That seems to be also kinda like low polygon, to be honest. You can see it now already to the top side. You see some planes sticking out. That's something that you can actually not entirely see from the angle Age of Mythology is usually played. But if you're gonna be zooming in and changing the point of view, you're gonna be seeing a whole lot more that the tree graphics are a bit funny. So they just kinda did a good job of making it look from the standard point of view decent, even though the graphics themselves, if you're gonna be zooming in, are not entirely as great. Oh well, we'll see how it's gonna be here in the game. That's gonna be Gaia trees, the Aspens. They also look fairly low poly, to be honest. Servant on the left side, and probably Fireship, I guess, above that. I guess could be. And probably not much more here, right? Not really. Just gonna be maybe saying what the water looks like. That seems to be, I guess, somewhat alright. gonna have to be seeing it in movement, because, well, it might be seeming okay on extended edition, and then, well, when you're gonna be seeing it moving, then you don't see the fish, for example, so that will have to be waiting for that. Not sure if there's maybe some kind of maneuver to the back. Not entirely all that well visible. Now, and the Norse, that looks definitely like the most cartoony to me. They kind of look like, really, the weirdest, frankly. Not entirely all that much of a fan of that. I mean, like, they're evidently detailed, but there's some kind of feel that it really looks like you're gonna be having just like kind of slabs of floor, or the floor roof. I mean, like, it's a weird comparison, right? Because if you're gonna be compared with original, then most of the things are looking that way. But I would be just kind of expecting maybe some different, I don't know how to say that, articulation maybe to the graphics. Not like it's looking terrible, but again, I'm just kind of thinking I was expecting maybe something a bit more realistic, but not something I'm gonna be burning a village over. Yeah, it just kind of like the whole feel for the graphic this direction seems way more Age of Empires 4. I was expecting it's gonna be more into realism, but they apparently chose to be going kind of cartoony as well, slightly. Not as much as in AoE 4, that is certainly true, this still looks better than that. But yeah, the general direction is a bit surprising to me, maybe. Okay, so what do we have? Hillfort, villagers, oxcart, fishing boat here. Okay, and the dog. I mean, like, the lighting for the dog looks a bit weird. See, of course, this mountain giant, Valkyries with, evidently, that's gonna be Aurora Borealis. That, if that's actually Aurora Borealis, that looks pretty bland. The original Aurora is so much nicer. Or original. Yeah, kinda original, because it's also an extended edition, right? I don't think it's from my mod that I'm using on Wooble. You feel really weird that feel like an AoE 2 and the AoE through AoE 3DE. They respected the original graphics. I mean, like, those games were like straight realistic, right? Age of Empires 4, they were just kind of building a new, so they wanted to be a bit different. They went for that style. And AOM is just like, they kind of thought it's basically fairy tale, so let's kind of do it maybe a bit more that way as well. I don't think it's correct. I'm really thinking that I always thought of Age of Mythology graphics as realistic practically. Just, of course, it is a 20 years old 3D engine, so of course it's gonna be looking janky a bit. But I never kind of saw that as something weird. But well, that's what we're gonna be having to live with. Caribou, that's probably Ulfsag here next to the water. Then we do have, that's probably Jarl here to the right. Yeah, that has to be Jarl. Seems to be having some kind of crown maybe. Hard to see. What is that building, by the way? Because you are having Longhouse here. Market, Armory. What the hell is this? Norse do not have stable. So that's why I'm gonna ask. It looks like some kind of storage house or whatever. I wonder if it's gonna be only campaign building, but that doesn't seem like anything I recognize in Temple, of course, to the top, classic. Tower, of course, as an outpost. That's gonna be, I guess, the same for everybody. Yeah, there's a Jarl right now, some better picture here to the south. Seems to be having some winged helmet, almost, maybe. Raiders behind him. Yeah, this is pretty big question what this is supposed to be. Because I don't know. And all the way to the top, there we have Ionear. That actually kind of looks kind of cool. Would be liking to see him from some kind of bigger detail. Looks like a huge dude instead of somewhat like an automaton that we have in the original. And what I was kind of looking for in the pictures is also if we have the extended edition units, right? Because so far it seems like they're not gonna be any kind of Chinese. But it's not entirely clear if you're gonna be having like Boxwager and stuff. All the way to the bottom, that almost looks like that but it's probably gonna be Throwing Axeman. I'm guessing this is gonna be Throwing Axeman, the same as here to the top. Hersir, of course, with a... That glow, frankly, seems to be quite a bit overdone. Not liking it too much. I think that's a bit more subtle in the original game. I like it that way. Farms, kinda okay, I guess. The berries as well. As by the way, the villages are gonna be having stakes on their backs apparently still, even if they're gonna be gathering berries. Maybe, but it doesn't matter. That is okay. No need to be complicating things and risking some problems with the engine. Mountain Giant also doesn't seem that hunky. I kinda really enjoyed the hunkiness of the units in the original. I understand that it's also partly because of the graphics and kind of like what they could be putting in there, so they had to be a bit more expressive about everything. But this guy kind of seems almost too thin for a giant. Something else here? Probably not. Again, the trees kind of looking... Those kind of actually, those ones are not looking that terrible. But those a bit further away, they actually look a bit worse. So I guess it's maybe like the perspective. Though, actually the leaf trees... what is the word? The opposite of corniferous. I always forget that word. No, nonetheless. Trees with leaves. They kind of looked a bit worse than the pines. It's kind of really... Seems to be low graphics, to be honest, on those. I wonder if they're gonna be getting some information if maybe some of the things couldn't be done because of engine. Because if you watch my streams, you're gonna be sometimes seeing me changing point of view of the game into, like, for example, 10% incline and others. And you're gonna be noticing that sometimes when there are gonna be too many things on the screen, the engine is gonna be starting stuttering. That's not because of my computer, that's just the engine not able to handle so many things at once in the game. So I slightly wonder if maybe that's gonna be a limitation for them too. And if that's gonna be behind, maybe choosing this kind of like not as detailed graphics. I can imagine it being the case. Who knows? No, Mr. Troll got boobas, apparently. Quite hefty ones. Kinda cool axe that he's having. Frost Giant behind him. Nidhogg is looking a bit weird. He's having huge wings, but otherwise the body is actually weirdly small. I'm not entirely liking this skinny dragon, to be honest. I was really kind of liking how he's huge. Again, just like chunky boy in the original game. Here kind of seems like some, I don't know, malnourished brother. I guess the fire is gonna be looking somewhat cool. You can see here some special effect with the smoke. Apparently Fenris Wolf Brute, that is gonna be looking a bit thicker than the normal actually wolves. You can say it now, that's the Fimbul Winter one, so practically normal wolfies. A lot smaller, that's gonna be elk. Wow. I mean, like, elks are actually quite huge beasts, so shouldn't be too surprising he's gonna be of the size of, right now, the mythical wolfie. Healing Spring to the top, that looks to be somewhat okay. Kinda cool detail that elk is gonna be drinking from it. And for the units, so it's gonna be Ainea here to the bottom, Huskarl, Throwing Axeman. No Boxwager as far as I can tell. And different Valkyries. Yeah, so that's gonna be... Wait, what? Oh, that's gonna be therefore probably some kind of hero unit, at least one of them. Because otherwise it doesn't make too much of a sense. They will be glowing, two of them. I was thinking maybe one of them is gonna be having upgrade into Shield Maiden. But that makes little sense. I mean, like, this one is smaller than the other one. Sure. I guess it's gonna be something having to do with campaign. And this is also looking like Eldhrimnir. Eldhrimnir. Rime upgraded Frost Giant. So Therm Frost Giant. This one is basic on the left, and on the right that seems to be the upgraded one. So just kind of showcase that upgrades are gonna be visible. On the units we really don't see anything, but we don't have anything to compare to, so can't tell. No, let's go to the Grecos. So apparently you can turn around buildings. That's quite a bit evident here, right? That you're gonna be able to do so. We are having different points of view. This one is gonna be kind of the standardized. Frankly, it kind of looks a bit worse, than the original one. I'm not sure why. Kind of more bland. This one I can understand, because yes, even if you're gonna be turning the standard fortress, it really looks kinda bad from the other side. It's not detailed at all. So this is normal, but this one... Maybe looks slightly worse, but I guess passable. Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, so therefore of course Monument for Hades. Armory, Archery Range, Market to the top, Granary. That's looking like a stable, right? Nemean Lion, you can see to the top, it's gonna be looking like a whole lot more of a normal lion. Right next to the temple. Hoplites in front and everywhere. That's probably gonna be Hippaspis, right? With the cloak in front of them. I guess so. Yeah, that's gonna be most probably Hippaspis in front. Then we do have Minotaur to the left side. That kinda looks cool. It doesn't look too bad. With Prodromi behind him, definitely. Considering how they are clad in gold, I'm expecting this is gonna be all champion upgrades then. Hippicons on the left side, possibly. Toxotai in the front. They're having really long arrows though. Bit weirdly so. Definitely doesn't seem entirely too right. And of course Colossus I don't have to be even mentioning. That's gonna be a gold Colossus version for sure. And what else do we see here? Not having any kind of Peltast. That's gonna be Chiron. He's having right now the golden circle around him to the top, right next to the Nemean Lions. So it seems like maybe the glow is not gonna be entirely that necessary, right? That's gonna be Perseus. So this is gonna be... Wait, what? That's a Hades actually TC. So Perseus, Ajax, and Chiron, yeah, making sense. Does it kind of seem only to me, or do those heroes actually look like almost children compared to soldiers? They seem to be smaller than them a bit. Maybe it's some kind of weird perspective, but I guess you're gonna have to wait and see. Not entirely certain if the Nemean Lion needs to be that big. So basically quite a bit larger than even Chiron. Thinking it's maybe a bit overdone, the size of the Minotaur here. But nonetheless, Minotaur is gonna be having actually kinda cool axe, not properly visible on the left, but here in the front. Well, is that going to be already Bull Minotaur, therefore with golden axe? Maybe. Doesn't seem like it's gonna be really anything else here. I was kinda looking if maybe you're gonna be having some Myrmidons, but if we have Hades, then of course not. But that means that we also don't have the Gastraphetes then. That's a shame. Oh, we don't. We do. Here at the top. That's Gastraphetes. If you're gonna be looking at the picture right next to the Nemean Lions, that's two groups of Gastraphetes in my opinion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they having something in front of them. That's gonna be Gastraphetes. So, nothing entirely too unexpected. Seems like the units are gonna be having and keeping enough colors to be recognizable. As far as I have seen some kind of complaints that maybe, I think it was on the Discord for Age of Empires, that maybe there are gonna be some harder to recognize units here and there. To be honest, here I'm not entirely seeing that as much of a problem. Hippaspis, Hoplites, nothing else you need to be knowing about them. Prodromi still black or the brown horses. Hippicons white horses, you don't need anything more. Toxotai here, I don't think it's entirely too hard here. Didn't look really bad here either. Thinking that the recognizability of the units is alright. Just kinda depends what's gonna happen when you have all the different changes through the upgrades, what that's gonna be doing to the units. It's gonna be just Arky here. There are some people complaining that Arky and Toxotai are gonna be looking same-ish. Oh, that depends. You need to be seeing them, next to each other. If they're gonna be on different pictures, it's hard to tell. But yeah, the big arrows are a bit weird. I'm not entirely kind of fan of that. So you're gonna have to see without also being heroized. No, and this is gonna be practically showcasing. They're gonna be... No, this is something like Anatolia probably lighting. I'm slightly wondering if they're gonna be keeping the day-night cycle from EE. I'm kinda guessing why not. For casuals wanting to be having some fun with that. So you can see right now destruction, some kind of animation for the fortress here on the left side. Simas to the top, and we have something specific here. No, of course, Destroyers in the front. There's a very strange looking Contarius beyond them. Lampades to the right. Satyrs. Okay, that's gonna be Ajax, Amunra, and Arkantos. Dryads looking kind of like similar to the Gaia, I guess. Mirror Tower, and of course Caladria in front. Everything seems to be somewhat recognizable with the originals, and there's the boss Automaton right in the middle with the TC for the Atlantean for Gaia. Looks to be kind of nicely overgrown. Market here. Armory, of course, Temple. Sky Passage to the top. Doesn't seem like anything unrecognizable. Counter Barracks. And not sure what that's supposed to be here to the top. It's supposed to be like a... No, not Palace, probably. Not sure what that is. If maybe that's not gonna be like Citadel Town Center. Maybe that could be something along those lines. Oracle to the right. Carnivora hiding beyond the trees. Nothing really too surprising. Seems to be fairly recognizable, everything. So no problem. Just of course right now the different lighting is gonna be showing it slightly differently. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be alright with the graphics. My first reaction wasn't entirely that I was that much of a friend of it, but it's not entirely as bad. It's definitely gonna be manageable, way better than Extended Edition, that is absolutely sure. Frankly, nothing can be as bad as that. So if you have different opinions, sorry, but that is my opinion, that Extended Edition looks just like, really, plenty things straight ugly. Just like a bit of a shame that we don't see some proper maps, right? Only stylized pictures. That we don't see, for example, how it's gonna be looking Tundra and the ground set there. Because these are things that are gonna be important for competitive gameplay. No, but nonetheless, I think we have actually looked through all of that. You can see somewhat like flat pictures of the flowers on the textures on the ground. Again, just like really a lot of details in some parts, and other parts are just kind of like maybe left a bit wanting. Wonder if you're gonna be one of those days getting some reasoning for that. But overall, definitely doesn't look like any kind of big disappointment. I was expecting something a bit different. It's of course gonna be everybody's personal opinion. But the more I'm looking at that, the kind of like less bad it kind of looks. So it's definitely looking like that I'm gonna be able to get used to it. To all of it. Of course, it's gonna be also important to see it in proper gameplay, in proper maps, and how it's gonna be shaping up during battles and stuff. And lightings of the maps. I'll be kind of happy if you could be turning off the shadows, because that's kind of one of the bigger problems on Extended Edition that is complicating gameplay and making everything look a bit worse, as the original game is a lot clearer, and that's something I appreciate for competitive gameplay. So yeah, it's definitely some pictures are a bit weird. This Titan is just like really looking straight bad in my opinion. Would be liking to see him from at least some different points of view, but this one is not making him and doing him any favors. So yeah, some things are looking alright. Some are maybe having some question marks in there. But yeah, anybody's guess and anybody's preferences, I guess, if you're gonna be enjoy that or not. No, and otherwise, some kind of further information. Oh, let's gonna please not. Release date 2024. Bit funny part, of course, that they don't have any kind of price tag to it. I wonder if they're gonna be trying to overprice it as they did with Extended Edition, which was costing a ridiculous 30 euro, as opposed to 20 for HD. That was really just like a huge joke, especially with the quality or lack of it that they delivered. So currently with DEB in 20, if they're gonna be going over that, they're just gonna be milking us again. Award-winning franchise, blah blah blah, modern design, visuals, retold, epic, innovative experience for old and new players alike. Command legendary monsters, crush your enemies, arena of the gods. Gonna be some kind of new mode there. Greek, Norse, Egyptian, Atlantean. So as you can see, no Chinese. So they are gonna be completely left out. We also didn't see them, or they didn't see them on any of the pictures there whatsoever. It's also gonna be interesting to see what the god powers are gonna be looking like. That's gonna be, of course, a very important part to it, and how the game is gonna be feeling. Nidhogg Dragon, call upon nourishing rains, protective dryads to help your people grow and prosper. Unleash the monsters. Bejeweled crocodiles will harness the power of the sun to the mighty one-eyed Cyclops. 50 mission campaign. Yeah, well, they have to be, of course, redoing that. I wonder if that's gonna be somewhat redone. Besiege the mighty walls of Troy, battle giants in the frozen Midgard, mysteries of Osiris, become hero of myth. It doesn't seem to be mentioning anything like that. So maybe the campaigns are gonna be left as they are. I mean, like, they are good enough on their own, so there's no need to be changing anything, but we kinda know how it goes with the remasters and remakes and whatever. They like to be touching things that they maybe shouldn't even. Interesting in the developers here, that they haven't captured each there as well. So that's gonna be probably therefore meaning we're gonna be having some more developed observer interface. Not entirely happy that those people are actually involved with Age of franchise at all, considering what they tried to do to the community and just kind of got bailed by Microsoft with an at release of 2D. Yeah, well, unfortunately, being deceitful and not truthful is apparently the way to money and success. But whatever the case, you might have heard that story maybe on some Age of Empires 2 streams if you are interested. Or can potentially share later in case you're gonna be wanting the details or whatnot. But nonetheless, that's apparently gonna be part of it. So they don't really do anything else. So I imagine that really observer interface is gonna be somewhat advanced as opposed to what is on EE. Which is not entirely that great, it's at least somewhat interesting, but frankly I even kind of prefer what we have on Woobly, coded into the maps, which is obviously not as advanced, but it's kind of like better information-wise, I guess. But yeah, seems like there's gonna be something more into it. Arena of the Gods. Challenge the labyrinth in the all-new Trials of the Gods for single player and co-op. Collect powerful blessings, join your friends, and take on new challenges to overcome the arena where the gods themselves do battle. Does that remind somebody of some kind of custom scenario? Because that's probably what it's going to be. Powerful blessings, join your friends, take on challenges to overcome. And it's gonna be some custom scenario. Not sure if it's gonna be adapted something, not sure if there's something in extended edition maybe created by someone. They usually do not create too many new things. They usually kind of just take something and quotation mark become inspired. So maybe. And up to 11, yeah, that's classic. You have 12 players in original as well, head-to-head against advanced AI on dozens of randomly generated maps and scenarios. So they're gonna be apparently adding scenarios directly into the game, it looks like, without you having to download them from Workshop, I guess. Something that we do on Woobly lately. That if you're gonna be joining for the first time, you're gonna be getting auto-download of a mod and having kind of like the most common scenarios ready to play practically. So it seems like they're gonna be doing something like that. But nothing new really. No new information besides just that they are not gonna be Chinese. So there are of course some kind of theories what maybe they could be doing, that it's gonna be reworked and basically like a DLC in a year. I guess could be, but it would be really funny if they did that. Trying to resell that. I'll be hoping that would be for free, but we know our Poppenheimers. Sure, not too sure about that. But it would be very weird to be honest if they didn't include them. So I'm expecting that's gonna be that. And then they will be doing in a year Chinese expansion, and then another year there will be Aztec expansion. It will be making sense to me from business perspective what to do. And then, well, we'll see if they're gonna be already ending with the support. Depends of course on the sales and everything. Virtuos Games, Tantalus Media World Search. Okay, so classic names there and nothing right about now on the system requirements yet. They want to be spooking people. All that course is really interesting that it's not there yet. And I certain why they need to be secretive with that. But it is apparently that way. So that's gonna be, I guess, the Steam information. There's probably not gonna be anything more. Unless there's something in the community hub already. Store page. Where is the Chinese faction? No Chinese. Windows 7 compatibility, you can probably forget about that. Even though, I mean, like, I'm not sure how it is now, but AOE2DE, that was having the same controversy when they were moving away from Windows 7. But there was some kind of way to make it work, but I'm not sure if it's working still, because I remember it stopped working somewhere. This looks like an AoE for reskin. Yeah, I mean, like, Ukrainian localization, that's probably nothing that anybody would be thinking about just 2 years ago, right? Now it's actually kind of relevant. As just for Ukrainians playing in Russian, no. Let's not delve into that, I guess. Colossi, I mean, like, they are kind of big even in normal game, but they seem to be a bit scaled up here. Japanese and Celtic, nah. Again, they're just gonna be doing the Chinese. They're gonna be taking 100% Aztecs. Not sure if they're gonna be taking strictly what has been done on Extended Edition by that modder. They usually do not do that for legal reasons, the companies like that. So they might be just gonna, again, quotation mark, getting inspired. So carbon copy almost, and yeah, that's how they like to do it. With taking inspiration, for example, for civilizations for 2D and stuff. From a picture Gaia, Titan model, but for the major god art, can you get an old human? Yeah, I'm really not entirely liking that too much. Changing her into a Groot. And we're gonna be going right now into the interview that was suggested earlier by... Who was it? Giving me the link. Twitch download clip. You're gonna be looking at it as well. Because there's supposedly some more information about this to be still had. So probably not much of a reason to be looking into things here, as it's gonna be, what are you saying? Kind of small. No, not really. Just maybe they scaled up some units, like the Colossi and the Minotaurs, for example, look a bit more majestic and bigger. I think it's gonna be just like a perception. They didn't entirely look that way to me. That they were smaller. Just like really that monument and was looking very weird. That wonder for Ra. No screenshot showing them. What are the people saying? I mean, like, this is gonna be continuing in the theme. If they're gonna be completely omitting them and never coming back with those, then it's gonna be continuing in the theme that, for example, if you're watching the stream at 25 years, year and a half ago of Age of Franchise, they went as far as to completely omit Extended Edition from being included in the timeline in there, even though it sold them 2 million copies. Even though, yes, it was a complete trash, it really broke the community in an unforgivable way, sure, but holy damn, it made them tons of money, so, and plenty of people like it still, and they enjoy it. So just like not even recognizing it at all, that is so damn weird. And, well... No information on the Chinese, not even an information, right? If just kind of like told you, Chinese are not gonna be included now, I guess they just want to be keeping it as a secret for a bit longer. It's gonna be opening all kinds of questions and weird sentiments, I guess. So sure, Chinese isn't entirely great quality. You can, by the way, see Chinese gameplay in that tournament stream we did earlier today. If you want to have a look. But nonetheless, you can read those discussions. I guess there's not gonna be anything too relevant currently here. Probably artwork. That's not gonna be anything else there, right? That's only from... Yes, from people. So, I guess that's gonna be there for it. Just gonna be, I guess, showing also that picture I was meaning. That's really kind of the big question mark for me. How the models are gonna be looking, because this looks not great. I mean, like, the whole proportions of that are completely wrong. The original looks actually kind of nicer. A bit more epic. This is looking way too small, the pyramid, for some reason. Not sure if they really increased the door. Can we actually find it? Age of Mythology. Ravender pyramid. Or am I just gonna have in some kind of weird memory of it? No, it kind of looks really better. For me, this looks definitely kind of like more majestic and bigger than what you are seeing here. I'm not sure if there is maybe not a specific model for the campaign, but I cannot doubt that. Though I might be wrong. I don't remember in the campaign. But yeah, this definitely looks better. So I'm thinking that maybe just like the proportions need to be done a bit differently. Who knows? But let's therefore, I guess, have a look onto that article. So thank you very much for the suggestion, Twitch download clip. Let's refuse everything. I guess withdraw consent. So Retold's developers are going way beyond the definitive editions for Age of Empires. You want to build the game in your head. That's very haughty. Revamped graphics, changes to unit numbers, and oh, no, you don't go there. Okay, I'm already not liking this. So what's gonna be right now the continuation for that? Mythological powers are set to make Retold a huge part to the... Okay, update rather. It's been shown off in depth. In depth? What the hell? What kind of in depth? There was nothing said basically. Journalists. For the first time during Microsoft's New Year, New Age live stream, marking the first showing of the definitive edition of everyone's favorite Age spin-off since its announcement in late 2022. The new video segment showed off some of the game's signature mythological monsters in detail, including the terrible Medusae, by the way, the flying Pegasus Scout, and the Titan Cerberus, using an augmented reality platform, and the monsters are pretty dang good looking. Part of the overall effort to make Age of Mythology Retold, a real upgrade from the game we played in 2002. I like it how they completely like not mentioning extended edition, right? Like it just like doesn't exist. Yeah, in some kind of different universe, or am I from a different universe that I actually remember this kind of game that existed? It's so awful actually from them to be pretending that it never was a thing. Jesus, man. I mean, like, yes, it was trash, but it is still part of it all. Just gonna own up to it, damn it. And with how many people actually enjoy it still, even through its faults, that is a community of yours as well, of players that you should be trying to address. Like, damn. No, well, nonetheless, let's gonna continue instead of ranting too much. Including changes to the models as you upgrade through the ages, yes, definitely can complete with a stack of classic sounds and twists on the old animations. Medusa death sound in particular is just as I remember it. Yeah, that was the same. That's just what Age of Mythology Retold producer Ernst Yuan had to say when I spoke with him about the upcoming remake, which will release this year on both PC and Xbox. Yuan has worked at Microsoft for nearly a quarter century. Starting as QA on the first Age of Empires, it's clear that his love for the series runs deep. There we go with love, of course. Stop the ad. The studio's plans to remake the first fully 3D Age of Empires required a different kind of work and inspired the team to go to new lengths in their upgrades all through game. Really? I mean, like, they've already done Age of Empires 3 and that's the same engine. Let's kind of not oversell it, right? And that's probably where they got most of the things they needed to be using here already. So Retold is way beyond what we normally do for definitive editions. You have to be convincing me if I haven't seen it yet. He and the team want to make the game as epic, engaging, and pretty as players remember it, rather than simply updating what was there. You want to build the game in your head, he said. I mean, like, it's still interesting to read, because it's gonna be sometimes giving you a glimpse onto the style of communication. Sometimes tells you what they're actually aiming for, and what they're trying to do. Most people kind of do not even recognize it in between the lines, but sometimes you can kind of read a few things, so that's why I want to be even seeing that. Changes to the graphics, game engine that were made for the Age of... no, yeah, well, that's what I was saying, right? That means using changes to graphics and game engine that were made for 3 definitive edition, then going beyond that. This is something that really is... really like the hope that we're gonna be able to live off the fact that plenty of the things have already been done for 3D, and therefore we might not be having as much of a grass field problems, which I'm definitely expecting there are gonna be plenty problems, because if you have somehow stopped on my streams here and there, you know I'm talking about it commonly. The game is actually incredibly stable and well working, which absolutely certainly with 20 years old design practices and coding practices means there are gonna be all kinds of landmines everywhere, like hotfixes to things hidden somewhere you wouldn't be expecting them, and that's gonna be creating problems, absolutely certainly. So I do wonder what's gonna be up, but nonetheless, this is at least a bit of a hope. It's not gonna be as complete tragedy on launch and stuff, that you have some things already caught. The start is adding ray tracing up in the population. No! This is a huge problem. This is something that plenty people ask for, but it's gonna be mostly casuals. And there, it just like doesn't matter. But for multiplayer, this is a massive problem because the game is designed around a specific population limit. It is designed around that. And if you're gonna be changing it, that is gonna be creating all kinds of problems. You can actually simulate that very easily. If you're gonna be creating maps for the community with different amount of TCs, you're gonna be seeing very different results of balance very quickly. Either like a lower amount of them or higher amount of them. It is a pretty big problem. So this is something that needs way more explanation and way more testing. This is something that could be really breaking multiplayer a lot. So this is not as easy there. For casuals, it doesn't matter because, I mean, like balance doesn't decide anything for players who are not experts or at least experienced in the game. So they can be enjoying whatever they want and huge battles. So this is caveat to them because people want to be having huge armies, huge bases, and then 1 hour treaty, no fight, right? No rush, and then just having a huge battle. So I understand maybe adding it in, but I'm certainly hoping it's not gonna be something that will be 100% already decided to be added into, for example, like quick match and matchmaking for Rated. This definitely needs more explanation. This is a possible scary point here, from my point of view at least. Oh, that's not gonna be +5 pop. That's gonna be like really a lot extra. That's not gonna be any kind of low amount. Because this has a lot of connotations. You can even change it by changing population limit on units, for example. They don't have to be 2, 3 pop, right? You'll be just changing it into 1 pop, for example, all the units. No. Yeah, this could be having very interesting implications. Need more information on that very much. Ray tracing, well, that's kinda cool. Of course, I'm never gonna see it on my 11 years old computer, so that will be toggleable, of course. So I'm not worried about that preventing me from playing. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be +5 per TC. I would be doubting it's gonna be so small edition. Because that really barely does anything. They're gonna be talking more about like 20 pop plus per TC. Which you are mentioning. Like, or maybe add in like extra houses, like that you'll be able to do double the houses, for example. That's something that also is a variant talked about in the community. No, and then add in an engine to handle special effects. Yeah, also hoping for toggle. You're probably gonna be having some, like what we have seen. Where was it? The Nidhogg, right? That smoke. That's gonna be, in my opinion, the particle effects. You can see right now the particles in there. That's gonna be absolutely brutally eating performance as it does in Age of Empires 2D. But that's gonna be toggleable if they're gonna be going per what they have in the previous DEs. So that's gonna be turned for me for sure. But there's a chance that it's gonna be looking somewhat cool. So yeah, plenty other things added in there from the graphics. Population limit in particular will be a big change for Mythology. Yeah, not just how visually impressive it is, but in the fundamentals of how it plays. Yeah, definitely, as I mentioned. But this is having also pretty huge connotations for the engine, because as I mentioned it earlier, the engine does struggle if it has to be showing multiple things at once, and it's not tied to performance of the computer. So unless they have done really some adjustments to the engine, or maybe switch straight into the newer AoE 3 version of Bank Engine, then that might be having very detrimental effects to performances. So I'm hoping they are aware of that. I'm believing they will be, because that to be released very soon in development. Because again, if you see my streams, if you change basically the pane of the camera, then if you're gonna be in some kind of team game, then if you change it into like 10% angle, then the engine just like almost stops working, and it's having nothing to do with computer. It's simply the engine cannot handle showing that many things at once. So yeah, this is and it's also gonna be having an implication for pathfinding, because pathfinding is usually kind of bottlenecked by amount of units on the game, logically, right? So that might be having some nasty spikes into CPU usage, and that is something that might be a problem for me, forecasting and even just like running the game. If those are gonna be played, that will be an issue. For example, also if you are having multiple Norse in the game, and you are casting, like, for example, 3 Ragnaroks at once, that usually also creates some massive lag as well on the game. So just if they increase population limit on villages, for example, imagine having some 200 Ragnarok. Oh man. I wonder if they're gonna be canceling will pop limit with that. They will have to. They will probably have to, because no, you can theoretically work with trade that is unlimited, but I think they're gonna have to probably. Interesting. Limitations of today's graphical tech, even if it was widely praised at the time. Yeah, well, Age of Mythology was very actually demanding on computer back then. That's why they also were a bit more limited on resolution, and why you having such a huge UI across the screen, which was really kind of big in general. That was because really it was a hard game kind of on computer back then, but it was looking good for the day. So yeah, they at least seem to be somewhat like right now mentioning the things here. Not sure if it's only the journalist or if it's coming also from kind of the developers, but yes, those are scary points there that could be going wrong. Another big gameplay tweak comes in how much control you have over your myth units. Back in... No. That's a huge change, actually, if that's what I'm thinking that is. Oh. Wow. Good luck balancing that. That is actually a big problem. That's gonna be horrible to balance. On-demand powers, that's a big mistake in my opinion. That is a very big mistake. Because that is quite an important piece of the skill currently in high-level gameplay. But frankly, turning it into Warcraft 3... just kinda like... it's gonna be making it so easy to destroy Colossi with, what, Medusae, or with, what is it? Mummies. It's gonna be so easy to be right now turning into ice. Anybody with your frost giant. This is just like, no, this is not good. Not liking this at all. This is gonna be completely changing the gameplay. Again, they're doing huge changes for kind of like cool effect, but I'm not really certain if they appreciate the balance implications this is gonna be having in general. This is really kind of... But these are kind of changes that were already signaled by the way before. So this is already not entirely any kind of news. This is something that was not necessarily leaked. I'm thinking there were some discussions and talks before that were suggesting this, or maybe even just like straight saying that. But those are huge changes. On-demand special units... No, nonetheless, that's gonna be therefore turning Age of Mythology into also way more of a kind of like a micro battle. So a lot of people are gonna be also not entirely happy about that. This is gonna be changing the landscape a lot. If it's gonna be really like a untouchable option. I mean, like, I just kinda don't understand why you need to be changing that. Like, why? There's no reason for that. It's not Warcraft 3. Geez, you have Warcraft 3 for using those kinds of powers. What it's gonna be resulting into is gonna be that on low-level gameplay, you're not gonna be seeing it used at all, because players are not gonna be able to utilize that because they don't have the APM for that. So yeah, you are having some myth units in the fight, but they're not doing anything special for you. So congratulations, great adjustment. And for the top-level gameplay, it's just going to be resulting into possibly, if they're gonna be having the proper APM for that, really quite massive increase in the efficiency, and therefore massively breaking balance of certain encounters. I'm not really thinking this is well thought through. This is just kind of like for cool effect. Oh, this is gonna be a seismic change to the gameplay. I mean, like, people are gonna be getting used to it for sure, but it will have to be accompanied by pretty big balance changes for that to be properly managed. The other huge change is your god powers rather than one and done bolts of lightning that will never no. Reappear and match, those powers are now on cooldown. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong having infinite bolt. Absolutely nothing wrong, right? That was a sarcasm in case you couldn't tell. Infinite forest fires. No problem with that. I can't see that being abused. Infinite rains. No problem with that either. Jesus Christ, this is a bad idea. I'm hoping I'm gonna be learning somewhere down the line that this is gonna be... There are gonna be two versions of the game. Competitive gameplay and then... like, advanced gameplay. No, the game doesn't need more god power usages. The game is just like fine as it is. I don't understand why people just kind of want to be going all out of their way for this. Like seriously, why? The game is actually designed with all of these things in mind. And if you're gonna be changing those things, the design will be falling apart. Basically, if you're gonna be having this you are turning into basically playing with cheats. You are playing into that territory. So sure, casuals are gonna be very happy for that. They're gonna be having good fun, but they can already have that. They have cheat codes, they can already do it. So why would you be kind of forcing it on the competitive gameplay that actually do not want this? Like, this makes absolutely no sense what they are doing. But also the god powers are quite a bit weaker for the Atlantean. You can't be comparing having infinite ceasefires, for example, like Jesus Christ, what kind of idea is that? Like, can you imagine just the ceasefire? So you're gonna be casting ceasefire to get yourself second TC in the classical age. Then in 5 minutes cooldown, you're gonna be getting ceasefire again to be blocking flaming weapons. Then you're gonna be getting another ceasefire so that you can be finishing Titan Gate. Then you're gonna be having another ceasefire to finish Wonder. Like, what the hell? And this is just like one idea. And every kind of god power is a problem. If you're gonna be watching any kind of team games and RTS League matches and whatever, it always is talked about that multiple god powers are a massive problem for the balance. It always is a thing that people always complain about. For example, there are multiple strategies based off the fact that you will be playing triple Zeus and having triple ceasefire and having 3 minutes of a ceasefire at the start of Medit and insta-winning because of that. Like, multiple god powers are a big problem, actually. It sounds cool, but for competitive gameplay, this is gonna be a nightmare. I mean, like, and how it can be nerfing both, for example? No, I mean, like, what's the point then, though? If you're gonna be, if you're gonna be changing the ceasefires into like 15 seconds, like, there's no point to god power anymore. That's the issue. The god powers are well designed, they have their role and power. I mean, like, just imagine having multiple locus. I don't even want to be thinking about all of these things. That's how horrible they are. Or you want to be having recharges on Plenty Vault? And having therefore, like, Fatoria from Age of Empires 2? Instead of your economy. So therefore having suddenly, I don't know, 5 Plenty Vaults, which means 45 villages, so you're gonna be having 45 more population limit on army. I mean, like, this is having very massive implications. And not really good ones at all. Holy damn. These are big changes. And risky ones, to say the least. No. I wonder if you're gonna be even recognizing the game competitively, to be honest. So yeah, it's gonna be... I'm not doubting this is gonna be so much fun. For the normal player in single player against AI, it's gonna be really cool. But for the competitive, Jesus, damn. It's fundamental, a huge change to how Mythology plays. Well received by the cadre of high-level competitive... Really? Really? Nobody has been leaking anything at all. And there has been an error that nobody was actually included in that. So considering, yeah, look at how it was last time, right? We finished with Extended Edition, with Kopesh in the game, Boxveigir and Oneges, completely ruining the game. So I wouldn't be entirely trusting any kind of supposed expert players with that. They don't have that much of a good idea. And of course, they're gonna be hoping to get on the good side of Microsoft because money and access is the important part of today's streaming age. So this is a bit interesting, and also, again, they can't be expecting those people to say, hey, let's not do that. And they will be listening to them. Of course not, because they want players like these 100% of the time, oh, like, let's be nice, 95% of the time, they just gonna be suck in the D practically. Because they're just gonna be flown somewhere and being kinda in the process. No. Now the point is though that you can't be having like different rules for rated games and tournaments. It's always a bad idea, to be honest. It really doesn't happen as much. And it's just like absolutely unnecessary. For you and the team, those tweaks, this is gonna be really interesting who those people are going to be. Oh, they're gonna be so hated. For a good reason, to be honest. But at least you're gonna be knowing therefore who the sellouts are. When we're gonna be potentially learning the names and the fact that they didn't complain, maybe. But nonetheless, for you and the team, those tweaks are all about making the game more fun and most importantly, more now you're not making it competitive. You're just gonna making it more fun for casual audience, which is fine. It is still like 90% of all the players, but like, yeah, maybe that's also going too far. Their hope is that this updated version will help boost the still extant competitive community and tournaments around Age of Mythology the same way, blah blah blah, that it's now included on eSports sites like Liquipedia and whatnot. Yeah, sure. Sure. Not like we are not having tournaments all the time that Microsoft is completely ignoring on purpose because they are played on the original game and original game doesn't exist for them. That's how much they love their community. People already pay them the money, so they might just as well die. They need the ones they are gonna be paying again. Yeah, this is gonna be quite a drama, I'm expecting this. But nonetheless, God Power changes both great for esports. Yeah, sure. Not really. Because you know that, like a key cooldown in a match. I mean, like, again, if this was supposed to be a MOBA game, it would be a MOBA game. It is designed in a way for a purpose. Like, why people need to be changing games? Just because they think they are smarter than the creators. Like, what the hell? Just like the audacity of the people. I think this is like quite a bit unnecessary. Lightning Ball Meteor is coming back around soon. Now, this is like really completely stupid, frankly. Anticipation makes it much more fun to... No, it really doesn't. Because the fact that you have the God Power once is also the huge anticipation factor on its own. Because it's meaning that its usage is incredibly important. That is actually exciting on its own, what you're gonna be doing with that and not wasting it. Granted, most people are not entirely good at using God Powers, experts included. But yeah, well, that's because they simply refuse to think about what has been done for 20 years and they're kind of thinking if it's been done that way so long, then it has to be correct. Well, it mostly isn't. Well, they're just kind of like locked in their ways, but this is just kind of trying to sell it. But yeah, the hope is that making the game a bit more accessible, helping it conform a bit better to modern expectations of what an RTS is. What is a modern expectation? I mean, like, nobody plays real-time strategy games. What is the modern expectation? Like, that it doesn't exist. That's the expectation. So why are you trying to cater to modern players when modern players are not wanting to play strategies? Where is the logic in that exactly? They can encourage some of the fun stories they've heard from players of the past. Definitive Edition. That is participate in a revitalized competitive place again. Can you shut up? You're getting me riled up more and more. Just because Microsoft is dumping on us up and down doesn't mean that it's not existing and living. Just like in the last year, there was like $10,000 in prize pools together, which is for a game with a few hundred players actually fairly impressive. Like, what the hell? Come on. And you would be kind of thinking that maybe journalists could be making at least some kind of basic research instead of just wanting to parrot what the developers tell them. Watching tournaments organized by the community, discovering a classic or enjoying a game they loved as a kid with their own kids. Again, that's happening for years and never stopped. Microsoft just doesn't care about that and doesn't care about the game to showcase it anywhere. The entirely updated interface is a given for a remaster like this. Well, that's kind of understandable. That's what we have seen on that video there a bit earlier. Of course, but game balance changes and exploit fixes are vital as well. Well, the balance needs to be completely different, of course, with those changes. So, we're most probably not going to be recognizing the game at all. How it's going to be playing. Exploit fixes, sure. Yeah, well, like, for example, disabling console, that would be helping. Those things need to be updated if you don't patch those and fix those exploits. And that's also right about now gonna be tying to the fact that I'm very curious if we're gonna be keeping the ability from Extended Edition. And that is basically having compatibility for recorded games. Or if they're gonna be going the DE way, and that means every patch is gonna be ruining recorded games from previous ones. I'm betting on B, like personally. They're not gonna be bothering with it. Well, maybe gonna be surprised, but yeah. That's gonna be also kind of fun for players and nice surprise. They can't be watching any recorded games, especially for content creators as well. It's very fun. Exploits game will not be viable as an esports game. No, of course, but it is still right now being played in such a way. It's important we need to fix those things so our community can run the tournaments they love, blah, blah, blah. In the end, though, the Microsoft team still wants it to be a remake that emphasizes how great the original was, not discard what made it great in the first place. All the changes we made, we will not break that promise. No, you've already did with those changes you have made. Because you are fundamentally changing the game. So, and he's even kind of like adding that. You fundamentally a huge change, and now you are saying that you don't want to be discarding what made the game in the first place. I mean, like, you don't make fundamental changes if you want to be keeping this true, so those two things are in direct conflict. So yeah, the game is gonna be cooler and funner, but doesn't, I guess, mean that it's gonna be necessarily that much better. No. That didn't make me very happy, as you can tell. Have you having some comments on that? There's like some advertisement here. Yeah, that is exactly the people. Why they're actually making that. I really understand why they are making it and for what kind of people. But it's a terrible idea from a competitive standpoint. And it's just like, this is just like, I don't know, people not entirely, always wanting more, I guess. Again, if you're gonna be getting something like 15-second ceasefire, that's just like completely useless. So I really wonder how they planning to balance those things, because they are, most of them are in decent spot already. So just like completely changing that, it's just like completely unnecessary work, frankly. So yeah, it's gonna be a casual hit, and multiplayers can expect to be having their world completely upside down. No, nonetheless, I guess that's gonna be there for it, unless there's some kind of new article. You're already actually 2.5 hours on that. Listening me kind of like partly ranting, especially at the end. I'm just gonna see so many problems from this coming up. It's gonna be also kind of interesting drama who those players actually are in the community to find out. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, that's gonna be there for it right now. I guess for the look on all the news that we have actually seen today, you can of course right now watch it as well for yourself if you are interested. I have also some further gameplay on the Age of Empires 2 there on YouTube or Twitch if you are interested. No, I guess that's gonna be pretty much it therefore for this, and I'm just gonna be having to look around what are the opinions elsewhere and what's going on about that. As these are gonna be monumental changes. Nothing like that has been done to Age of Empires 2 or 3. This is just making completely different game, which I cannot entirely agree with. Because in my opinion, Age of Mythology was the best designed game by Ensemble Studios. It was their magnum opus. And just trying to think that you can make it better. Yeah, that's a very haughty thought right there. New unit in the Attis screenshot. You're saying where? Like you mean in the left side? Nah, that seems like a fire ship. This is a servant. Or what do you mean and where? Top middle. That's a Dryad. I don't see anything here. What do you mean? This is also some kind of boat, like a fire ship, probably. This could be either some kind of island, or if it's gonna be Man of War, possibly. Almost kinda looks like Carcinos. Maybe some kind of narrates in front of it. Left of the Dryad? There's nothing like that. If you are meaning this at the top, that's a boat. There is nothing new here as far as I can tell. Yeah, this is a boat, either a siege boat, siege bireme, or a fire ship. And based on the left ones, it's probably gonna be fire ship. Haven't entirely seen the units from Expand Extended Edition anywhere here. So, wouldn't think that's really anything new. But we'll see. If maybe there aren't going to be any kind of additions. If they are already making such massive and sweeping changes. Okay. No, well, yeah. That article definitely got me a bit riled up here. So otherwise it was looking somewhat acceptable, but those changes, unfortunately, they are gonna be there for coming through. Which is gonna be a huge, monumental change to how the game plays. So well, again, for single players and stuff, it's gonna be great fun. I don't doubt that at all. And those are the main audience, so they're gonna be great fun. Great reviews and everything, but yeah, for the multiplayer, this is gonna be having massive implications and practically changing the game completely. This is gonna be a completely different game with different strategies, so I guess something you're gonna be having to live with, because I very much doubt that this wouldn't be the main platform for Age of Mythology when it comes out, just because of the hopefully better multiplayer. So there's like no chance people will be sticking to the original besides just kind of like playing with friends and stuff and having maybe weak computers and stuff. Retold will be the major platform for sure. No, interesting pieces of information. So I guess that's gonna be probably there for it. So thank you for stopping by, who did, for possibly the opinion. I'm gonna be uploading it on YouTube as well, in case somebody's gonna be interested in that. And I guess, yeah, that's gonna be practically it therefore. So I guess at this point, let's have a maybe some kind of look what further Age of Mythology streams are currently on, if you're gonna be interested. If you're also interested, earlier today we were doing also a competitive stream from Age of Mythology Extended Edition Tournament Power of the Gods between Victor and Justice Strikes Nullus. So there were some interesting games. And, well, not sure if you're gonna be streaming over the weekend. There are gonna be some further matches, 16 GMT tomorrow. There is going to be, how it is, already forgot, Chemo versus Shelty. So you can expect stream that, then, and on Sunday, 12 GMT Quoth versus Nullus, probably gonna be Boyd, and Rappel versus Yoshi at 19 GMT should be Darth Revan at twitch.tv/Darth Revan _24 most probably. And we'll see if you're gonna be getting some further games further. No, of course, further. And then tomorrow also 20 GMT should be King of the Gods 2, losers bracket round 6 maybe it is, between Ulysses from the New Throne and also Justice Strikes Nullus. That's maybe gonna be only some POV stream, not sure. Probably Raidel H is not gonna be streaming it live, he usually is having a bit earlier session. So we will be doing maybe some recorded games later, so that he's gonna be having the priority since this is his tournament. No, and well, if you're interested, of course, in joining us for... sorry, my voice kinda giving up. You can possibly join us if you wish, also on Woobly, if you are interested, for some competitive gaming, if you wish, for Age of Mythology and Age of Empires. And, well, if you are going to be also curious and you have only Extended Edition, there is a compatibility patch if you're gonna be interested in that, by Straxis and Chris, so you can increase your player pool and, well, enjoy therefore the gameplay on both platforms if you wish. if you don't want to be looking for the download of the game anywhere. Otherwise, feel free to also visit us on RTS Sanctuary and Age of Mythology Heavens as the community webs. RTSS for the discussions, guides, tournaments, recorded games history. So I'm imagining there's gonna be a lot of talk currently going on. And on Age of Mythology Heavens, it's a bit more for the modding community, so graphical mods, custom scenarios, campaigns, game crossovers, and everything else. Or if you want to be becoming a modder yourself, that is also great. A repository of knowledge and tools and guides and everything for you to become the next big creator of content. No, and on Woobly, you can be possibly playing here on the Ensemble Studios 103, the real original game if you wish, the Woobly Balance patch, the community patch that is the most common version that is being played currently, or Vanilla without Titans, Expert Patch Vanilla, Rated Vanilla, or Deathmatch Lightning, whatever you wish, against bots, against the AI, or potentially with also some further custom scenarios like Zelda, Tiny, Foodwood Gold, Bloodsport, I don't know, Norse Wars, CBA Castleblood, or some new ones like Desertification or Mythodea Mini from Straxis, Cheese Wars by NK Kid with Ceiling Bet and Straxis updates, or for example Void Islands, different versions of Settlers or Fixed Nomad by Proper Gentleman, and all kinds of other things that you can find on Woobly Mod Center. So I guess that's gonna be there for it, so thank you very much Twitch download clip for that article and for the information. Thank you very much for stopping by on the chat. Miltiades Pro as well. The Waste of Life, Sulmader, Bronze Boy, Pefimozo, Mr. Pound Town, Katidenks, thank you also for the 15, what is it, 25 months of subbing, thank you very much. Kirosh and Nimonom, also from the previous session, with Count von Count, Chef Hades, and everybody else who maybe stopped by for a bit of lurking, very much appreciated. And Alonso, O2A, also thank you for the follow. Well, no, mixed kind of feelings. I was not entirely feeling like too bad about it so far from the info and from the graphics, even though I was having different expectations. Those changes, no, we're gonna have to see how they're gonna be tackled. Really, from my experience with like how Extended Edition worked and how it works with expert players and other games, that input is practically useless. And quite commonly also not entirely taken too seriously by the developers, unfortunately, so I guess we're gonna be having to play it to see. You're gonna be having to wait what that is gonna be bringing, but those changes are absolutely monumental. We're gonna be playing completely different game. So yeah, of course, I'm at this point kind of like upset and riled up about that, because this game is simply great from my opinion, and it's superb and really just like well done, well designed, working nicely. So yeah, I'm of course a bit resistant to the change, to something especially that is good, but that's what you're gonna be having to live with. I mean, like, there's no escape. It is going to be the main platform, and people are okay. Why is it actually right about now setting that as a broken thing? But yeah, we're gonna be having to live with that, so I'm gonna be having to accommodate anyway, whatever kind of result it's going to be. I'm just gonna hope we're gonna be getting at least some decent balance, and we're not gonna be having to play completely broken game for years. As frankly, they are not entirely having that much of a great track record in balancing games, Forgotten Empires, so I'm very worried about that. Community is doing much better on that front, and always has in Age of Mythology, certainly. Okay, let me have a look on that link then, that you have right now sent to me. In the background you can see two Hydra and Orskila swimming in the river. Which one? Oh, they actually having different pictures on the web. Oh, okay. Let's do that then. Maybe still. Extended edition still. Wait, what? Okay, these are some direct links. Age of Mythology. Well, that's a Skilla. That's not any kind of Hydra, that's evidently Scylla. What is he saying there? 2 Hydra and or Scylla swimming in the river. At first I just assumed they were Scylla, but then I noticed they had the blue spine fins on their back. Yeah, that's what Scylla has as well. Or does she? I don't know. That's gonna be Scylla, obviously. Have the blue spines? Yes, she does. Well, Scylla do not. Actually, he's right. Scylla is having black, kind of colored fins, right? Hydra to be amphibious. Actually, they might be doing more things with that, considering that they are gonna be doing Titan amphibious, and they have already amphibious units from Chinese DLC, the Salamander in there. They might maybe do it to more things that are making sense. I probably don't have opinion on that too much. That's probably don't have too much of a problem with it, to be honest. Might be having some implications for certain maps though, like watering hole, for example, marsh. So again, it might be a bit of a concern for certain units, for some kind of side attacks and whatnot. Yeah, Scylla is gonna be having, as he's posting there, she's having the like the tail or whatever, right, colored, and the fins, if I'm not mistaken. What does she have right now specifically? You have a picture of her? Yes. There she goes. She's having kind of like some kind of bands around her neck, or around her neck, or does she? Something like that she has. I think that the fins are colored, even though they are probably not better visible or well visible. And then she's having some kind of bands around her neck at the bottom. Because this one seems to be without any kind of identification, frankly. But I want to be putting too much into it, to be honest. But yeah, that's another picture. Trirames, of course, on the left side. Peltas also on the left side. So that's a bit nicer picture, a bit bigger. Oh, that's actually even high resolution. So yeah, Trirames on the left and Argo. Donkeys through top. Peltas here on the left side. So we actually have all the units. This is Achilles here to the bottom. Not entirely certain what he's doing here. Oh, kind of like... Guess sure, he's the last hero, so yes, that's what he's doing here. That's... What, here to the top? Some kind of weird temple. Not sure what that is actually here to the top side. Not sure what that building is supposed to be. Nah, those are gonna be skills, just kinda like recolored, I guess. Feels to me there's like a fin here. But who knows? Maybe it is gonna be, you know, the hybrid unit. Again, I wouldn't be surprised by that if they actually try to do it. If they're doing it with Titan, just to be doing it with some others that are making sense. You know, like what other myth unit would be making sense to be amphibian. Maybe actually Heka Gigantes could be, since they are kind of big boys. Same as Colossi probably, right? They're also big boys, so they can be going through some level of water. I wonder if it's gonna be also, by the way, then divided by elevation and how kind of deep the water is, therefore. But here's something else. Oh yeah, we're just gonna be having the pictures with high resolution. Okay, it's kind of cool, I guess. If I can open them. Okay, this one is gonna be the same, nothing too much more. Okay, my computer is starting to resist a bit, so I'm hoping it's not gonna be crashing my OBS somewhere down the line. Nothing new here, it looks to me. Yeah, that is the same. Seems like it maybe just that one was a bit cut. Oh, this is very kind of smeared. That looks like a decent amount of bloom. No, not like some kind of huge amount, but okay. Seems like that's like a citizen turned into hero here, just right there. Didn't kind of notice it before. This is a bit differently cut than the picture, so it seems like that really just the Greek one is given a bit more information, it feels to me. Yeah, there also doesn't seem to be anything too much new. I haven't entirely seen any kind of fish anywhere, so we don't entirely see what the graphics is going to be for them, because that is a big problem on Extended Edition. But hopefully that's not going to be repeating here. It should be something easy to fix. And yeah, doesn't seem like there's anything more, just therefore the Greek one is a lot more higher resolution, and therefore a bit more ground and water covered. The Atiflian Regent is not a redhead anymore. Where is she, Caladria? Was she actually a redhead? I don't remember. She wasn't brown all the time, not sure. Can't tell. Okay, let's have a look what was the original version for the skill. Oh, wow. Yeah, kind of like almost... It's almost like looking like a head of a Medusa here. But yeah, that kind of looks a bit more scarier, that is true. The Scylla definitely is basically like a version of Hydra. And Norse Titan is definitely a chunky boy, yeah. He is certainly in need of some kind of accessories. Though it's really kind of weird because, I mean, like, he does have some definitely belly, but he doesn't seem to be that much of a fat guy to be having basically like really female boobas. Doesn't look that way to me, so I think it's a bit overdone actually there. Maybe somebody having some personal issues. Okay, give me the link to Caladria. Yeah, I'm just kind of like a bit maybe disappointed if they haven't taken the opportunity to make a specific Titan for every single god. I think it would be really cool. If it wasn't per civilization by per major god, I think it would be much nicer. And if they are going into such changes, it would be quite nicely fitting as well. Ah yeah, she was apparently some auburn hair. Seems like you are right about that. But well, it didn't seem like there was anything more right here. Nope. And well, the same information that we have seen on Steam. So yeah, thank you for the extra info. That there is maybe even something more going on with that unit. But nonetheless, I guess that's gonna be there for it. Unless somebody's having some more information. Really looking forward how the god powers are gonna be graphically done. It's something that definitely does have the potential for some proper oomph effect. But yeah, there's multiple god powers of the powerful ones. Yeah. No, well, nonetheless, it's just gonna be a different game. I'm just gonna be having to switch myself in my head. We're just gonna be playing different game, not Age of Mythology. So the Retold is gonna be definitely true. So it's gonna be meaning different game style. You're gonna be having therefore more god powers. That's rare, basically like reusing. No, so that's what we can be expecting. So that's gonna be quite a bit of an open field then, because it's gonna be favoring different players than what we currently have. So wonder what kind of changes it's gonna be making on the top levels. Definitely gonna be a lot more favoring therefore more APM high players with the at power or the at will powers of the myth units. That is for sure. But really, I'm just gonna thinking that for the casuals, it's gonna be unfortunately having maybe the opposite effect. Because again, casuals cannot be controlling the powers, right? They're gonna be using it maybe once in a fight, and therefore it's gonna be significantly changing their like power of the myth units for them, because they're just not gonna be using it automatically, unless there will be a toggle for them. Maybe they add that, like auto casting or auto using power. Because if they don't, really, they're just gonna be seeing a lot less cool things like turn into stone and all kinds of other things. It is a bit of a double-edged sword even there. So again, I'm just gonna think in Age of Mythology Original is damn well designed game, so these changes are absolutely not necessary, and making it something that it isn't, it's gonna be something different. Not really saying like really bad or anything. It will have to be taken a lot of balance changing. So again, I'm having a feeling we might not be even recognizing the game too much. It's gonna be played quite a bit differently because of that. Now well, I guess that's gonna be there for it. For what I maybe wanted to be talking about here. Maybe down the line, but I guess maybe not. Because at this point it doesn't matter too much what kind of changes I'll be liking on the game, what to do. So at least like one day hit, and that is for example the Amphibious Titan. I think that's a correct change, and making him more powerful because really he isn't strong enough. That's what we have been saying for a long time. So that's at least something that's gonna be correct. The other things, well, depends, and we're gonna be seeing about that. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be there for it. So at this point, let's see what kind of other streams for Age of Mythology there are for some recommendations. Currently ready. Okay, so it seems like there's gonna be, for example, Punkstar is doing some games, Killuminati. So you can choose some competitive fun with AOM still. Then there is gonna be Takarashi. I guess he's playing some kind of tournament or whatnot. Maybe. Delaney 076. He seems to be playing right about now some games on Woobly probably. Thunder AOM on Extended Edition. Cesarim Codorno. That's gonna be some games against AI.
Boa tarde.
No, which is like... Yeah, one computer and seems like it with friends. So some kind of combination it seems to me. Then we do have IOWNJGL playing against AI. Corona 69. That looks very much the same. Also against AI, probably some gameplay. It's gonna be against AI. And 7LTU. That is gonna be probably... Yeah, that's a campaign, if you're also interested. No, otherwise, well, of course, from the chat and from the players that we have streamed today, also in the previous session, that's gonna be, for example, Twitch TV Victor GG. He's not entirely streaming too much. Usually when he's playing some tournament, he was streaming the previous match from the Power of the Gods, the bronze match, closing the tournament that we are streaming. Then he was doing PoE if you want to watch. Then he was playing against Nullus, who is also streaming, but not more regularly. Nullus AOT. And then potentially here in the chat we have Mr. Poundtown. Not sure if you actually are streaming lately. That's probably not as much, right? But can you give him a shout out as well? And somebody else, not just count what was around. So you can give him a shout out there for since he stopped by. And he's streaming fairly regularly, some top level gameplay. So some kind of further information for the Retold, I'm expecting we should be seen on June game show. Most probably I will be expecting that's gonna be some in-game trailer already at minimum. And probably Gamescom is gonna be I would be expecting demo already playable there. No, and well, they seem to be aiming for the release somewhere in October, most probably. Some kind of classic time frame they have. So yeah, considering they are showing it kind of late, I'm a bit worried about the pipeline they have. Maybe they are not entirely as finished as they should be, but in the end, we're gonna see in quite a few months. So yeah, more information is gonna be definitely following from the developers you're gonna be expecting, and I guess, well, we're gonna be covering that as well if it's gonna be available somewhere. So thank you again, Kati, thanks for the sub, and Alonso for the follow, and everybody for stopping by here on the chat and stage download clip for all your information that you were able to give us. And you could therefore have a look at and analyze No Now being Blackadder at Blackadder's Place. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and see you later.